What you gonna do? What you gonna
time, and that means that you, me, and everyone out there are going to be clashing together to see what this collegiate season is going to be all about. I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside a younger, prettier, and just even more majestic version of a man that I've known for years. It is Bear Light on the eve of also being able to put the ring on the finger. My man, it's awesome to be back with you here at NECC. Week 1 action, Rocket League. How you doing?
It's probably one of the best weeks of my entire life, and include NECC Rocket League returning as one of the big reasons why. I mean, this brings not only some of the best Rocket League that's out there in existence at the collegiate level, basically best Rocket League all around. We got some players that have been around since the inception of Rocket League who have been doing it at that tier 2 level that have actually broke into the main scene as well, and we'll get to see that on display early here tonight.
The dominance that you speak of comes from one of the best programs in all of esports, at least on the NA side of things, and that is going to be Northwood, as they're going to be bringing the blue squad, the big squad, to face off against the Fisher Falcons, one of their two. I think they have the white squad that's coming in here at least, and that is a Division 1 matchup. A bit of difference from some of our previous NECC seasons. Everything in Division 1 and in Division 2 is best of 7. We used to leave things up for grabs a little bit more with best of 5. That means we're on kind of these marathon runs now as we suss out who's really the biggest dog in the pack. And you know, Bear, that Northwood is going to try and stay at the top.
Oh, 100%, because they've been there since the beginning of time, really. In the inception of Rocket League esports at the collegiate level, we've seen Northwood stick around and really made their rise just this year after when we saw CRL for the first time, and now with NECC starting up, they were a part of that equation early, and there's a big reason why. They've had talent since the get-go, and it does not end here. Sure, you don't have a Lion Blaze anymore, but you've got Zenil, you've got Hockey, you've got Cream on display, but Hail Monkey Man, I mean, Fisher, as you'll see on your screen right now, they're bringing in some big shots as well.
Yeah, I get to see exactly who's bringing it in. It's going to be Jasper, Justice, and Diaz. Now, this is kind of a separate combination that they had from that CRL Summer Series that posted up in the midst of the heat. Now, can they be able to find some, at least, activity that gets them a W, some fake outs at the goal line, and everyone left to just jump in the stripes? You know Fisher Falcons would love to be able to walk away with a W here, but Northwood's going to make it difficult.
Oh, of course. I mean, they're going to be in your face pretty consistently when you have the high-flying power of Hockey. As you know already, part of that TSM squad that makes that RLCS pretty regularly. Hockey is a threat at all times for scoring. Got to keep an eye on consistently. Any passes even heading that direction is something that you got to shut down. And you'll see Fisher with a keen focus on it, then understand the assignment. It's just a matter of can they execute your throws here.
And right now they're trying to pin them back. You have everyone kind of on their heels for the side of the Falcons, and it's just the Northwood kind of gathering up possession and seeing if they can stretch this rotation very fast and very thin. I mean, shout out all the way to the real OGs that know Hockey when he was on Team Meteor, by the way. So that's old heads. That's definitely some beards grown there. Zenil winning a couple of big 50s and trying to do it for nigh a thrice time. And we have not seen the Falcons be able to leave their roost.
Yeah, they've been trapped in here pretty consistently. You see Jasper working a 50-50. That was a wise choice to kind of slow down the pace and really bring it into a place where they could settle it, pass it down the field, and hope that they can kind of establish a little bit of this offensive presence. But just before you're even able to make that happen, you see Krames with a late flip touch there to push it down the length of the pitch. And a 50-50 pushes the box. Shot will be taken, but Diaz able to shut it down. The follow-up shot taken as well, but Justice just up in time. Still not out of harm's way here. They'll push into the box, and you see Northwood Blue continue to cycle in and put the pressure on.
Hockey had put a really nice zinger on target, and you actually had one Northwood player that was coming from the backboard to try and maybe reverse that angle, and they just couldn't get on top of it before the defense for Fisher White was able to at least find a step in the right direction. Hockey, in fact, gets a demo onto Jasper, and that's going to thin out and run out the time that Fisher Falcons are upfield. Now, you do have these extensions. I think this is about the third time at this point we've seen them on orange grass, a chance to maybe crash the gate. They didn't trust that anyone from the Timberwolves Timberwolves would actually be delayed on elevating to meet that ball. And so for the first time in a while, you see them play defense. Nice flip reset. Who brings down to it? Jasper's able to actually grab it in the stripes. And I don't know, did your screen go black too? Okay, we're back.
Oh,
cool.
we're good, yeah.
All right, yeah, nice.
I mean, panic, and it looked like they went black too. The defense is, because they got demoed off this pitch. And Jasper credited with an assist here, but really, if you want to get technical, it was Diaz out in front getting that demo to free up open space.
Diaz has actually been kind of that difference maker right now for the Falcons, consistently finding themselves defensively minded and able to stomp out what could be those key strikes that gets them into the net. This is going to be another one,
Wow.
a two-bag, and guess what? Diaz is involved.
Diaz, again, getting into the demo equation, but also off the kickoff. Presence of mind, it's not easy beating Hockey to that position. Sure, Hockey had a lot of room to gain before he was able to get there to even get that challenge off, but usually Hockey can get there in time. So a couple of blunders here from Northwood Blue. It's not something that we usually see when they establish themselves in a season, but right now, early in this NECC season, in game number 1, I know it's early, but you like to see Fisher being able to take advantage of this.
Yeah, and there was one that was forced and one kind of unforced. So taking advantage where it's been developed by you and where it's otherwise been left on the table to go and grab. That is, again, Jasper screaming across, looking for the redirect. Justice brings it all the way upfield, and where the Timberwolves were finding themselves in a profitable position, well, they had to retreat, but they find a good strike, and they cut this lead in half.
Yeah, Jasper wants this one back. He was eyeballing Diaz there, but the problem was it went just directly behind him. Couldn't quite find that angle, and when you give Northwood that availability to start heading back down your pitch with nobody back, having to dive backwards for it, well, they'll take advantage every time, and that's how they're able to cut this lead in half.
You don't want to squander this moment, though. If you're the Falcons, you've been able to kind of stand against this Northwood onslaught. 90 seconds approaching here for game number 1. And again, it's best of 7, so it's a long dredge of a series, depending on how you operate within it. Good from the crossbar. Jasper simply can do nothing but wait, as Justice had to go up and find it himself against that ladder. Creams is trying to play for time, and I like the attack. They're not allowing Northwood Blue to develop too much individually.
Haven't. Wow, that's thus far. Jasper was able to launch that one. A lot of velocity on that redirect. Another opportunity as well, but shut down by Creams. Now we'll try to transition out. Creams an extra touch, but Diaz able to be on that one pretty soon. Be able to touch to it. Now we talked about how Hockey's part of that TSM team. Well, obviously Cream's part of that squad as well. They already have that chemistry. By the way, Wavy coming up as well, a senior in high school currently. You imagine that Northwood's going to get him on the phone pretty shortly after. But hold that thought, because Jasper here in game 1 has made it 3-1. So Northwood, Fisher's threatening him here late into game 1.
And the assist comes from Diaz off of a killer takeaway. They challenged Jess on the right side of the box, forced a very formidable 50 that then careened into that 45. And what a read by Jasper to be able to go and step up to the plate and take a hot shot to force the defender to just react to it a step later. So a Falcons group, they were looking as to who would be their main trio walking into the season. Summer Series came up a little bit short for them, but right now in game number 1, it seems that they found their identity, and Northwood Blue has been left knocking at the door.
They've been, knocking at the door since the start, but it hasn't really translated since then. It's been all Fisher being able to at least capitalize on the situations, right? And Northwood had their chances. They put on a lot of pressure early. They just weren't able to find the goals to show for it. It'll be Fisher Whites taking game number 1 of this best of 7.
Big squad right there. That's, you know what, we had seen so many rotations. We talk about there's False, there's Kinsey. You have a lot of depth to this Fisher Falcons program, but then Northwood Blue, they actually came out screaming. And I gotta wonder, maybe card change, maybe Creams actually gets subbed out here. We got to kind of see the dynamics of how this roster is looking. It's week number 1, Bear. So there's not too much that weighs too heavily on either side. And this is actually a great opportunity to maybe try and get experimental and see what can happen. Especially because these series are just so long.
They are, yeah. You have time to adjust. You're trying to, prep yourself for what's going to be an extended semester. So you have time to really toy with it, especially when you have the skill level of Northwood. Let's be honest, they're going to have some games that are going to feel pretty freelo, just based on who they are as a team. Not to disrespect other squads, but listen, they are the best of the best to some degree. And this is really a challenge that you get early. One of the best teams as well coming in. So really you're doing yourself favors whether you're able to make the adjustments necessary to come back back in the series, which clearly they're able to do with their talent alone. But either way, yes, absolutely. Experiment. Get stronger as a squad. Get that chemistry going. Maybe even try some different combinations like you mentioned. It wouldn't definitely not be the end of the world, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, we talked about Noxus being on this roster as well. It kind of sits as a sub. Everyone's like, oh, it's the old man Noxus. So we're going to bring him over, and the possibility of it at least exists. But we'll get to see exactly what this one looks like. On the other side of things, I think, well, this one's called Fisher White. I think there is a Fisher Navy crew, and I wonder if that one's comprised of the other 3 players, as we have Kinsey Money as well as False that kind of resonate on the other side of the program. I'll be looking to the depth of this group, but right now, the depth that we find ourselves is in game number 2.
And Fisher will look to kind of build off that win. It wasn't a perfect win, let's be honest. You know, Northwood gave them some opportunities, but Fisher wasn't exactly perfect either. So if Northwood simply just plays the way they know they're capable of, I mean, it's going to be a very quick turnaround, but Fisher did establish themselves on the offensive side of the ball late in game number 1. We see it yet again. As in the first 40 seconds or so, they basically owned the entirety of the ball possession. They've been rotating a lot better. Their passes have been more so on point. And Northwood seems to feels as if they're the ones that are trapped pretty consistently.
And look at the difference of what we're seeing from the beginning of game number 1 into game number 2. It was Northwood, they were just suppressing anything of a counterplay out of Fisher. And look at that very acute, immediate pass. It was taking all the pace off of the ball. You know that Diaz is actually kind of locked into that backboard, considering both of his teammates are low on boost, and he had just enough to go and contend with anything that would be kind of a sky drop. Justice gets another big 50, and he's going to have that opportunity to take that corner away, but it's stolen away as Jasper and Diaz want to start operating, and I'm pretty sure for all 3 goals, Diaz was involved in getting every single one of them, either as a shot or as a assist setup.
It's been excellent. And now look at them causing chaos on the other side. So Northwood, again, they maybe take notes from this Fisher squad for that same reason. Perfect pass. Will find Zanil on the far side of the box. They'll tap that one in easily, and Northwood Blue will take the 1-0 lead.
So nice starting opener, and that's something that they finally get behind the Falcons. Falcons have been able to posture up defensively. The one that they let in game number 1 was a full field counter-strike. This time around, they catch them a little bit more laterally declined, and now can they get one immediately? They're testing it. Hockey finds a good defensive stop and a fantastic clear to follow.
Yeah, good read, and now look as Fisher just kind of got nervous after Hockey started flexing his muscles a little bit. You see the confidence rolling in, but look out. That one a bit of a difficult situation, but they'll handle it well. Diaz will tap it out to the corner to try to escape with some space, but Kareem's was all over him on the backside, and that allowed the rest of his team to kind of circle around, but Jasper finds a pass out. Now go back up for it, but Kareem's read the play nicely. He'll tap it over the corner, and Northwood Blue will start from there.
We still don't have a true major strike from this Falcons group, and it looks like that Northwood has really identified they want to play some small ball. They get to the outside perimeter, deep into Timberwolf territory, and then they start trying to just kind of dribble on them. That's where some of their more acute passes really laid up, especially to the top of the box, but they've not been able to do the same thing here. That's going to be a 1-2. Justice has just enough, and then they want to key up Diaz from the outside, but he's not going to maintain ball control. Hoping for the third man to get a diving stretch instead. And this is actually kind of a pass play, but now you have to retreat, and Justice will keep this one from dropping on target.
I've been incredibly impressed by Justice, but look out. Nobody back there for Fisher. Looks like they were hung up on the backside. Justice did what he could to swing it around the corner, but unfortunately gave possession right up to Kareem's on that side wall, and Fisher's defense looked a little bit iffy there.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. They actually had someone screaming in from Northwood who I think was also looking for a demo. So having to dodge the physical play and then also realizing you're already behind the bell curve. Nice flip reset. Diaz looking for the 50. Oh. He gets the better part of that ball, but it bounces out of way.
Diaz absolutely flexing. Trying to make that one, force that one in. No such luck. Northwood back the other way, but Diaz will tap this one down. Here's Jasper with Kareem's in his face. Now it'll be Justice having to jump up in retreat. Kareem's is up in a hurry to try to calculate that one, perhaps challenge it with a 50-50. Now Jasper will try to tap back, a good give and go. Diaz backwards and still almost adjusted there with a half flip, but he wasn't able to adjust in time to get the shot up. But But right now, Fisher is all over Northwood. It's kind of a mirror situation because Fisher's been in control of this one. They're behind by 2, and it's the other way around in game number 1.
Yeah, you had kind of made a note that it wasn't exactly the prettiest game in game 1, and yet they came away with the dub, and it's because they just played against the tide. That was Northwood's momentum, and even when they had the multitude of control, they just could never get something deep into the net. Well, now all focus is downfield for Fisher, and they're catching themselves with an open back line. A chance, again, Creams goes to try and at least body someone, and Diaz with no boost looks for a 50 just to make that one squirt away. So we could be having ourselves a tied series after this game if Fisher White cannot get an answer, and so far the solution is left unsolved.
Oh no! That one pinballed off of Jasper. I saw what he was trying to do there with an extra touch. Look out, plenty of room to work with. That one just tried to chip it towards the middle. Hockey was easily allowed the chance to jump up and support. He only knocked that one away. Another shot taken though. Justice will make it interesting here. He's cut the lead in half here with 15 seconds left.
They had one being tugged around as they were held by the hand. Jasper got an inadvertent second flip reset, and then Creams just wasn't ready for the power. They left all eyes up on Jasper, and Justice was free to kick. So, you've got one, 15 to go. It's a winnable feature here, Bear, but you got to act fast.
Oh, Jasper's got just that. It'll look to waterfall it down, but a good read from Hockey will spoil that chance. And now you're under 5 seconds left. Justice trying to dive at this one now. Hockey just killing time here in the corner, but it's popped up high. A chance for Jasper, but Zanil read it and did a great job to just stand in the way. So Northwood Blue will even the series here at 1.
Nothing too sweaty, just enough time to have it chill out. So, Northwood Blue, I think they walked away with 4 shots apiece. They come up 2 short of that this time. Zanil kind of lagging out to it, but we have 2 saves each, and that it was the 2-1, 3-1, done just one worse here in game number 2. And you saw a lot more. Diaz having to be locked in onto defense, has 4 of those 6 saves acquired by the Falcons. So, not exactly the side of the pitch that they want to be operating on, considering that they were involved in every single one of the 3 that was on the other side in game number 1.
Yeah, there's no concern for me on the Fisher side. Obviously, you secured game number 1, so it's even, first of all. That's why you build the lead in the series. But I thought Justice did a good job of shutting things down in the midfield. A lot of times caught out of position to some degree and still was able to recover. You don't get credited for a save with that, but what you do is you allow your defense to rotate back, grab boost before making that sequence, so Diaz is allowed the chance to get back and make those saves. So I thought Justice was also underrated in that game. Northwood's going to come at you and know that when they lose a game, they're going to take it personally. They're going to get right back on the pitch and find a win there, and I thought Fisher did a good job to hang around here for this instance, and we'll see if they get it done again here in game number 3 and see who gives themselves an advantage here.
It's also, you talk about taking it a little bit personally. You keep that competitive edge, which really the Northwood program has done a very good job. Same with Fisher for keeping themselves motivated. It used to be that these conferences, you're like, oh, you know what? Just like you said, freelo. But instead, it's become an elevation of competition, and both these teams come into play knowing that they can't be just slouching about it. Game number 3, Fisher White already under fire.
Yeah, Northwood's coming at him pretty quickly. Jasper recognized that, so good job to relieve a little bit of that pressure with the demo pretty early. Trying to get the physical game back in action. We saw Diaz with plenty of those opportunities in game 1. Led to their success, so you know, with the great coaching staff that you have there at Fisher, that they said, let's go right back to what made us successful in game number 1 and gave them an opportunity here as well. But Hockey did a great job to track him down. And look at that him in transition. Another late flick. The specialty by Hockey, that's what makes him so dangerous when we talk about him transitioning on the offensive side.
Yeah, you can never think you're safe just because you win one touch. Hockey's immediately going to be looking for the next one. And look how he's already just shadowing against Jasper, who has to just wait for extra forces in the form of Justice. With no extra touch there, Jasper with no boost, they have to find a small pad and knock it off to the side. That does just enough for the time being, but there is definitely a striker coming, and guess what? It's in the form of Hockey.
Yeah, you knew it, and you can tell the defense knew it quite well. Also, here's Jasper was underneath it, and at that point, you know you're beat. He was just guessing. Hopefully, Hockey will try to, maybe tap it down a little bit further than he needed to, and maybe I can contact it. But yeah, at the end of the day, you leave that floating there in front of the net, and Hockey will finish that off 49 times out of 50.
Yeah, it's crazy how there's such good just game sense. They're like, oh, wait, he's not going up. They're not going wall. They're not trying to be able to boost up. That dude has one pad in him. That's about it. And then trying to be able to take advantage even further. Flip reset hockey. Looking to carry it over. Maybe set up for anyone. But not exactly expecting his Zanil goes right back to work. It is Cirque du Soleil, and they are taking over at the trapeze height.
It is just pressure by being calm. It's so crazy because they're completely in the Fisher White territory. Right, they're threatening the box, but they're slow playing it, which really gets you to second guess yourself. It forces the defense to get up and use a lot of their boost as well. So really that resource farming, if you will, while also just putting the pressure on. It's the equivalent of the Queen's Gambit when we talk about chess, right? Go out early, get some pressure on, but kind of slow play it once you get in there and play methodically once you get in. And Northwood's put on a clinic when it comes to that here in the last couple of games, actually.
Look, all I know to do in chess is to tower up. And even with that kind of defense, they are letting Northwood slide in a bit more comfortably. Now Diaz with a great steal, looking for the dunk. Jasper trying to bend it back around the bar. Creams was hiding there, and a great put back anyway. Diaz will get it done, and we get it 1-1.
Yeah, Diaz set up everything here in this instance and floated it. And after Zanil made a great save, Hockey could just sense that Jasper was there. You don't typically see a nice putback by your own team, but that's what happened there for Northwood, so Fisher will take it regardless. And they'll even it up. But right off the kickoff, you see Koreans want to get it right back to work. Use a Zen-like pinch off the ceiling in order to get that one done. A miscue, though. Oh, my. Looking like an atomic choke there, unfortunately. A 2-1 lead now for Northwood.
Oh, man. NA fans will never live it down. They'll never let it go either.
I hit it too. All right, just so we're clear.
Everyone out there is waving the French flag, which this time around is not the white one. So getting one right back, and Fisher White seeing themselves, they at minimum got the previous goal by just odes of pressure and forcing Northwood to have to be able to make a choice. Jasper gets bodied, gets left behind, and we get ourselves back to 3.
Yeah, there's nothing Jasper could do. He tried to tap it down, and it would have been great had the demo been avoided. But Zanil, that was a purpose that Zanil got out there to get that demo. That was before the play was even developing, so credit him for reading the play before they did, because that's what set up and made that one so free. And with just about 2 minutes left, still seeing Northwood jump out and ride the momentum of that last game to try to push to 2-1 in the series. But Fisher White's had a lot in the tank. They've got a lot of tricks up their sleeves. They're a very good passing team, so never count them out of this one. And Justice wants to spark that right now, but Creams is right there in the corner. Be able to tap this one out. Jasper trying to set it down for Diaz. Zanil read that one as well. Look at the redirect. Oh, and Zanil with the pre-jump. Trying to dive into the box. That was quite the pace that Northwood was trying to accomplish there on that offensive sequence, but Fisher was just lucky enough to tap that one away.
You know, we talk about experimentation, and it happens in real time within the game, not just between, not just ideas. They're going to be getting these call-outs, and they're always looking for what different kind of creativity can happen. A fantastic save. That's inside the post that Diaz had to be able to just ring off the bars. But as now Fisher White sees this one becoming a little bit out of reach, 1 minute approaching. They're just down 2. That's on target. Too many Timberwolves came out of the den, and right at the 60 mark, we're going to be able to see a chance.
Yeah, Northwood is getting just a little bit too cute when we talk about passing. You don't see Hockey with a pass that really lingers in the air like we saw there, and it was up to Fisher to change the pace of play. Justice did that perfectly, jumped up in the play at the exact right time, saw an open cage, got wide eyes, and went for it. And that's why we see them back within 1 with a minute left, but Zanil, he was trying to gain that 2-goal lead back and almost was able to get that done.
A big demo, and that's going to thin out the would-be counterattack. 45 seconds to go. Oh, you see how quickly Diaz is getting there. He's done that twice now. Very mechanical, but also just very quick. And if you'll be able to at least surprise your opponent, then it takes away the need for style and a bit of substance. Can Zanil be able to make a short back pass? They get it over to Creams as they go around the corner. Creams is trying to also intersect and just make it difficult to counterplay. Justice slow flipping. They don't want to let this one go between the bars. That's when the true threat becomes magnified. One last flip reset. Oh, and then nearly had it finished off.
Just as great raid now with 10 seconds left. They've got numbers. They'll try to swing it around. Great touch from Creams. An extra one as well from the Northwood Blue defense. Now they've got to go the length of the pitch, and I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's going to happen. Here's Hockey again. We'll put in the nail in the coffin, if you will, for this game at least. And Northwood Blue hold on to this one. Fisher, they were striking back. But leave it to Northwood to shut them down here and take game 3.
If I'm not mistaken, based on the Northwood fan that we got going on out there, out in the chat, shout out to Mamie over there. I believe Hockey got all 4. Yes, 4 for 4. Zanil and Creams assisting with all of them. That is 100% participation on both sides of the tether on the scoreboard. But for Northwood Blue, they are trusting in the hot shot that is Hockey, and Hockey's looking very strong right now. Game 1, all of a warm-up, just simply a stretch, some yoga. This time, Northwood is starting to catch fire.
Oh, they certainly are. And everybody gets involved, too. Every goal in this entire series for Northwood has been assisted, including in that game. So Zanil had a couple. Creams was setting him up as well. And just let your striker go to work. That being said, Fisher, I mean, they were reading the play very well. Their anticipation is great, but I actually am kind of nervous about it a little bit, because if you take those risks, they're going to pay off when Northwood doesn't expect it. But the more you do something, the more you trend towards a certain aspect of play and how you want to play, well, the quicker that Northwood's going to pick up on it, be able to watch it, just a little touch around them, a little touch passing is all it would take to really put Fisher out of position. So they got to tread lightly. I like them trying to catch him by surprise, but you do that too often, Northwood is bound to figure it out.
Yeah, and then it starts boiling down to, okay, how honest are we going to be with our play? Are we going to start doing more fakes? Are we going to try and slow this down? And just like any good player, and actually one great player, and you know him, Andy, he told me the way that you play this game fast is by playing slow. And we got to see that methodical style of play out of Northwood in just tantamount. So let's see if that happens here in game number 4. Fisher needs a game. If you want to see this one all tied up, you talked about the Timberwolves getting a bit too cute. Well, this one is even cuter. Diaz strikes first.
Falcons flying fast as they're known to do, and that was Justice staying on that play, because Neil played that perfectly, right? Well, I wouldn't say perfectly, but the 50-50 was necessary. So the fact that Justice was able to read that, win the 50-50, get it back down to his teammate, find Fisher on the board first. And when Fisher's been on the board first, which has just happened in game 1, they've won every single time. So hopefully, we'll see them play with the lead just like they had in that game 1. Potentially find ourselves in a situation where we have the equalizer. So they've done themselves favors getting off to a hot start. But the answer is so quick, so keen. It's Creams again to make it 1-1.
Hockey to, goodness gracious, to Zanil to Creams. A full field 1-2-3, just like they drew it up on the napkin at lunchtime. Wow. All right, grab yourself a chicken sandwich and a bucket of fries, because this one is a blockbuster event of how to play offense, and Northwood is guiding you along the way. Maybe one extra chance, but it's just caught at the goal line.
The excitement turns out. Both teams are really in it here in this game. We've seen a bit of flip-flopping from time to time. Both come in this game number 4 knowing that this is the most important game as far as, being a pivotal one. Northwood could very easily go up to a 3-1 count, be at match point, but if Fisher evens it up, then Northwood might start to second guess how confident they are here. And anytime you give Fisher some confidence, well, you'll also find yourself in trouble. But right now it'll be Diaz to try to turn this one around. A little bit of a touch. Jasper's on it as well. The pass over to Justice, but he fired just a little bit wide.
The tiniest bit wide. That's just that narrow part of the metal. That's unfortunate because they had a great counter angle that went from the opposite side of the box, and now this one's left for free. They're going to be able to bounce it in true, and Zanil and Northwood will be able to get this lead.
What's worse about a shot that's just a little bit inaccurate is when you give up another opportunity the other way. Sure, the demo did free it up, so it's not like it was a huge blunder, but you just start thinking about it. I don't care how strong of a mentality you have going in. If you miss that shot by a little bit and Northwood does get that follow-up goal, it can be a difficult pill to swallow. So it's more important than ever that Fisher get the equalizer here in the next minute or so that way they can hit the reset button mentally and go into the latter half of this game and see if they can't put the pressure on again to try to grab a win here in this game. It's a tough pill to swallow at the end of the day.
Zanil was literally looking to redirect from one of the fastest just long bombs that I've ever seen. You know something is operating at a high tick tempo here for Northwood. Fisher White trying to be able to just stabilize and as well as snuff out this fully oppressive offense that's just kind of starting to really magnify the longer we go here into game number 4. But Diaz, he has been a shining star within it. Trying to be able to key it up again. Hockey will get this catch. They were hoping to get that one fed back to Diaz, maybe in a 1-2-1. And as this midway mark approaches, Bear, we got to see that one game. Fisher was able to keep Northwood away at arm's reach, but now it's Fisher that has to be able to pick and find a moment, and you would hope maybe someone's there to crash, but Jasper has to go one tank.
Couple of taps back and forth. Jasper will be in full control. That'll be a bank off that corner, making it very difficult. The tap down. What a recovery save there from Zanil. Still in here, though. Diaz just a little bit wide again. Now Justice, great pass. Jasper shot as well, but Krames will shut it down. Diaz right back to it. And a 50 from Krames to try to settle in, but Justice won't allow it. It'll be a turnaround to Jasper. Try to push it in. The pass a little bit off the mark. Diaz with a great read. We go end to end. Zanil, flip reset, but it went off his car a little bit high. He floated. Justice should be able to get down to this one, and Fisher will finally be able to clear the zone, and finally will likely see a catch here at midfield. But it has been some entertaining play, to say the least, with a minute 30 left.
And even when they're able to grab a catch, Diaz is then demoed away from the play. He had a full tank and a lot of hope. This one taken away as 80 seconds are approaching now for Fisher. Justice wanting to give it to Diaz, but then they both double commit in the same spot. Zanil looking for a bump onto Jasper, and there's too many Falcons with too little boost. Justice is able to at least help their cause. Diaz goes down. He'll be resetting. Thank the cam and the newest update so that he knows where in this chaos he's going to be cycling through. But Bear, 60 seconds. Northwood in great passing is currently bearing the Falcons back.
And look at that patience yet again from Zanil to get a couple flip resets. Actually had an extra one in pocket should he want to use it, but there was no use case. But look, on the doorstep, Krames just able to tap this one in, finds a gift, a present from no other than Hockey, who's been great all series long, and just taps it past Justice for the 3-1 lead.
That's as close as a hockey play as we're going to get into a soccer game. And I mean hockey with a Y, because when you see them being able to just completely shield against the who's playing goalie, that third man position, you know that a quick shot's coming. Trying to be able to make it even quicker, that will ring off the front face of the post. They have a third man to be able to go and approach. Creams already has an extra option with Zanil behind him. He's going to pinch this one all the way upfield. Northwood Blue trying to get themselves on to match point after suffering just the first game loss. Bear, they have been on a tear through the last 3.
And they need a goal here on this sequence. Jasper's trying to press it in. Justice with an extra touch, but Zanil tracked that one to perfection. And now we'll play it out to midfield where Jasper knows that they have been defeated. Another touch, but it'll be too late. Northwood Blue going to match point after this game number 4 turnarounds as they score 3 in a row, and they're on their way in this series.
We got to see that first score, and it came 10 seconds in, and I can never give myself to be hopeful to something that could build from it unless you can find a follow-up. Nothing was acquired. This time around, Northwood wasn't perfect. They didn't find the 100% participation, but they got 3 out of the 9 shots, and that's pretty darn good shooting percentages, whereas Fisher White is still just kind of left on their own goal line, and it just feels like, you know, they wanted to catch the Timberwolves out of spots and out of sorts, but they couldn't ever capitalize up in midfield forward. And that small ball play where they were really benefiting from being able to kind of out dribble them and then making things a bit quirky at times has been completely just deleted. Northwood is just executing at a faster rate than really what they can execute on the other side of the pitch.
And it's really fundamentals is what it comes down to at the end of the day. There's a lot of times where we saw just simple back passes, play the length of the pitch consistently. Even if you have it in their ends, you can pull them out of position with those back passes, be able to find and locate passes. The pace that we see Northwood from one end to the other insane. The 3-man passing play that we saw very early in this one to spark that one, I believe it was the equalizer at 1, was what really set the tone from here on out. This team really does play with the purpose. It's always been known. And really, you have no idea where the next shot's going to come from. It was Hockey with 4 goals in the last game. It turns around he didn't get one, but Krames had 2 of his own. So when you keep the defense guessing who's going to be the next one to score, it makes it so difficult, no matter who you are, to try to battle that out. And Northwood has done that to perfection here to kick off this NECC season with a chance to shut it down here and now.
We got 1 extra chance per, since we got a best of 7 situation going on right now. But Diaz on the quick hop, Hockey with no boost, simply making it work, and that means that Northwood Blue can also kind of take some extra chances they want to here, Bear. You're going to see some extra double commits. You're going to aim for maybe some style or maybe just things that they wouldn't otherwise be comfortable doing if this were a much tighter race. And with them being up 3-1, Fisher is going to be kind of at the mercy of this situation, since they can just kind of throw everything in the kitchen sink, whatever they want to do, just playing in this game.
Well, I talked about how we were going to watch and see, keep eyes on Fisher as far as are they able to play with the lead? Is it going to be, more beneficial? But Northwood shut that idea down as well. Sunil launched it off the backside of his car. It serves as a perfect pass to Krames. Northwood on top in this game number 5.
This is basically a 1-2-3. You had Hockey to Zanil to Krames. That one consistent for this team as they just find ways, great reads, and they are all sharing one brain cell. It's like a bunch of orange cats, but instead of just looking cute, they're able to be fierce.
Well, you would know. What's Chief up to these days, by the way?
He's really asthmatic. We had to take him to the vet. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, no.
I know.
And here I am bringing it up in front of everybody.
It's all right. I understand. Everyone should know and love Chief. It's okay. That's fine.
Oh, I do. I love it. Well, here you see it now. Fisher tapping it back. And you go backwards to go forwards. I talked about Northwood and their ability to back pass. Now maybe they're taking notes. Opportunity to utilize the full length of the pitch here. Krames already up, pre-jump. Oh, he tapped it back down. That single brain cell would have said Hockey was going to move up forward. The only issue was he didn't have any boost, so he wasn't able to. Otherwise, that could have been a very fancy play. But now you have a transition chance here for Fisher. Try to use the back wall, but Krames was here to shut it down before anything could get going.
Sometimes the one brain cell is also a little laggy. It just depends. 1v2. Diaz is getting bullied. Oh boy, able to delay and get that half flip just long enough, but you already have someone just riding on top of it. Diaz gets such a powerful flip reset from off of the ball. He flies way behind it, and now this one goes the other direction. Falcons nearly seeing another one put through, but they find a favorable 50 fortuitous for them, and they look to steal boost, but Diaz can't get the ball nor the corner, has to wait for midfield instead. So we're at the midway mark now of game number 5, and Northwood Blue still just stealing away every single chance that begins to manifest for Fisher.
Krames with a tap off his own back wall to himself, but that's dangerous as Justice was up in a hurry to try to tap that one in. But this is Diaz getting beat to it by Sunil. Is anybody back? Well, Justice was able to dive back just in time. Here's Jasper. As Diaz, if he wants him, try to cross it, but Hockey stood in the way. Great positional play there from Hockey to not allow that pass to develop further. I feel like Diaz really had the responsibility to trust his teammate. It would have been a hard read nonetheless, but that was a great opportunity for Fisher to step up, and they just weren't there.
Yeah, that's one of those where at this point you're a little bit frustrated. You're trying to act as quickly as you can, and there's sometimes where you're like, you know what, I'll just do it myself. And this one so close. It's ringing off the chain link fence right now. Shout out to our producer, by the way, bringing us to the grass version of Farmstead, seeing if they can maybe plant a seed of doubt against this Northwood defense. But we're still at 1-0, trying to dive down. They turn themselves into a falling piece of barn, and now Diaz, left with no boost, is going to be Justice that finds a big clear. Can Diaz redirect it? He brings it further upfield. We have the last minute coming up here, Bear. Fisher has to find at least one just to stay in this game.
Oh, and that was a great passing play. They're trying to end it here and now. An opportunity there, but Diaz able to shut it down. Justice in transition. They know and understand the urgency, but so does Zanil, as Justice thought he had an open spot, but it was denied, shielded directly back into their zone. Jasper tries to turn on this one. Hockey will also be man on the spot, make it difficult for them to escape. No end in sight here for them trying to dig out. More and more time, precious time off this clock. And it's Northwood continuing to press forward. Diaz with the 50-50 as well. The demo, Creams, gonna tap it all the way back to his own end. Now it starts to foot race, and Neil, no, backwards, what are you doing, sir? I think he got smoke screened. Let's check this out again, because you don't see that often.
Oh, man. All right, so Creams with the Psycho, and then it drops over into a redirect, and then...
Cracked,
man,
honestly. Yeah, wow.
That's so good. Northwood's the best. Look at them go. They don't care where they score. They're going to score it.
Do that on the other net. What are you doing? Come on. I bet you can't. Could never do that again if they tried, except I've seen them do it before. Whoa, hold on.
Wow.
Northwood was about to take us laughing and say, are you sure about that? And almost finish it before we were able to get a breath out. But now, 0-second opportunity. I don't like this for Fisher, because now this one's going to tap back down. Creams try to set up Hockey, but Diaz going to tap it to the ground wisely. We'll have ourselves overtime as Fisher tries to stay alive.
Northwood looking for one goal to finish off this series and move on from week 1 play here with the NECC. Zanil sees them kind of sneaking around in that back corner. Diaz wants to get in front of Creams and, you know, maybe test them and challenge them to do that Psycho in the other direction. I'd love to see something like that pop up into a highlight reel, but not the bottom 10. Let's see if the top 10 comes up to rise. But again, you still have Northwood Blue forcing Fisher to just restart again and again from their back third. It takes 2 to get that save.
Oh, man, and sometimes you want the double commit just for peace of mind, I suppose. Not exactly how you draw it up, and Fisher got out nonetheless, so they don't have to hang their heads instead. The justice. And he was able to see the entirety of the pitch with his FOV, so he was able to notate that Northwood didn't have a whole lot of room, or they gave him a whole lot of room. Now the 50 almost fell. Diaz will make it off the back wall, is looking for justice, but he'll set up Creams instead. He's got the carry. It'll be out in front for them as well. This one far side, Fox and Creams with the overtime winner. 104 into it, and Northwood Blue will win this series 4-1.
Diaz had that stolen out as he was trying to bring it further into the corner. I believe that was Neil that was able to key him up, and then they went to his main man in Creams all the way across the net, who never left a chance going wanting. Northwood Blue, they dropped the first one, they grabbed the next 4, and they go 4-1 here in week 1 play.
And everybody got involved from Northwood Blue. That's what you love to see. Obviously, we know they're capable of it. Nobody's going to sit here and say that they're not. But to see them execute just consistently, over and over again, no matter what platform they're on, they're always involved. And they saw themselves down early against Fisher. And that doesn't happen all the time as well. You know, Northwood does jump out to series pretty early and likes to finish them as well. So Fisher gave them that challenge early, and Northwood said, nah, we're not doing this. Just 4 in a row. Able to knock this out with the purpose, with the passion. Obviously, it was close. Fisher played them extremely well throughout, but Northwood Blue did, in fact, prove that they're just superior this time around.
Yeah, this time around, we're going to see exactly what Fisher College is able to bring back with their white squad and see what they can improve going to next week. But for right now, 0-1 and 1-0 are exchanged even-handedly between both squads, and we will exchange ourselves to go to a break. We're going to have the Queens Golden Gales versus the UCF Knights right after this.
falling faster. I try to ignore. I see you. I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end. This is not what I came here to find. Memories show that I'm out of time. See a shadow, don't know if it's mine, but I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end.
Colder, colder, when you're frozen over like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am.
too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Not that you're gone, I can't seem to.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NECC. It's Rocket League Week 1 action. A couple of boomers to be able to bring it out to you. We've already seen some booming on the pitch. In case you missed it, it was Northwood taken down, Fisher White in a 4-1 fashion. And again, I'm Hell Monkey Man alongside Barrel Light. We walk our way from Div 1 over into Div 2, but we're still a best of 7. So these are longer roads, longer matches, and we got some squads coming up. How do you think that both either benefits or maybe hinders teams? Best of 5 is not that long. Best of 7, just a couple of extra games, or is this that much harder?
It does put a mental factor on it when you get late into the series, because there's very easy tendency to kind of fall off, lose focus to some degree. So even if you get a 2-game start, for example, it leaves the door open for a team that really can dive deep into it. I get it, it happened in the best of 5 world, but I think it happens a little bit more in the best of 7 world. Now, if you go down by 3 games, we know the statistics there, then it becomes much less likely as you surrender more games. But these hot start that we typically talk about here on this channel, no more. Think of the past. Best of 7, you don't necessarily have to. Obviously, you do yourself a favor by jumping out to the early start, but like I mentioned, there's still time to dig deep, make adjustments, which is something that I love to see in series.
You're also going to see, I think, teams that start off in this fall semester will be seeing a lot more stark separation from the rest of the pack. Obviously, 3-0s, it's all of one extra game, a 4-0, but being able to stay consistent and you be able, even if it's like somewhat closer games, just maintain that clear clinical difference between you and an opponent that isn't going to be making that run either deep into a playoff or maybe even into the middle of the season. That really starts to become even more highlighted. The numbers ain't gonna lie, and especially not us. We're gonna be making sure we cheer for the highs and boo with the lows, but only for the highlights for all these awesome players. But our next matchup is gonna be from either side of this major continent, as we get Queen's Golden Gales and the UCF Knights, Hydro, Nursen, and Wizro of Golden Gales versus Laser, Nano Poison, and Scion. That is quite the trek to have to be able to go all the way from that bottom peninsula all the way to the top of the border.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, quite the distance between the two. When we talk about skill levels, they're right even par, which is crazy to think about. UCF, of course, they have some history at the top level of Collegiate Rocket League. And the Queen's Golden Gales, this is a team that we've seen multiple times here on the NECC channel, and they're almost the NECC champions in a sense of just like being the dark horse, being able to work their way up. With this, at least 2/3 of this roster, we've seen Hydro and Wizro when they're able to connect to big things. Hydro, real true leader of this team that has dynamic mechanics that can really set their team off, if you will. I'm willing to see, and I'm excited to see what Nursen, where he fits in this picture of this 3-piece. But UCF, completely different roster here, but they got some young studs, including one that I'm familiar with. I'm excited to see Nano Poison on this pitch here and see what he can do with the UCF Knights.
And this is also a team that's they're not just fighting here; they're fighting in multiple different conferences. So they're pushing this one to the limit, and I feel like it's not too long ago that we got to see UCF be one of those major powerhouses in CRL overall. So considering that they want to be able to kind of bring themselves back to prominence, there's maybe some looks as to what's going to be going on throughout this season to get themselves in the right direction. So, and also Queens Golden Gales has some good depth looking all the way back into spring. They actually had 3 separate squads. So this program overall knows how to be able to really kind of support a lot of their students. And I can't wait to see exactly we go to the pitch with. It's going to be 2 Division II matchups for the rest of the night, this one inclusive of it. So as we go into this next matchup momentarily, I feel like this is actually going to be a nice collision course for the very beginning of the season to start really defining what can we go and find for the rest of it.
100%. Something that I usually don't bring up because, there's action happening right on the pitch. I'll bring it up later. Hey, listen, Golden Gales were ready. Off the kickoff, we've seen Wizrow do this plenty of times, and Nerson clearly fitting in the picture pretty quickly here for the Golden Gales.
You know what? Sometimes you're ready, sometimes you're not. The first game is all about who is and who is not. So we'll see if that continues to be the case. But immediately looking to get an answer is Laser. They rise to the occasion. And, you had questions about Nerson. They want to make sure that all the answers are just left on the pitch for us.
Oh, of course, yeah. You got to answer the questions early. You got to address it right in the face as it's happening. It's a great way to set the tone for the series, if you will, even though it is a long series. You love to at least get things cooking early. And it brings me back to my conversation, which is, smaller school, where you're a potential big fish in a small pond, versus UCF, a big school. You get a lot more support. Maybe you have a whole lot more fans because the college is pretty big. So we see how even it can actually kind of make itself and poke its head out because UCF is able to even that. That's Nano with the flip reset extra touch. That is a beautiful goal to equalize.
Fantastic adjustment, too. You knew that no one was defending the upper part of that backboard, and so you're like, okay, I just need to be able to take this shot down. Let's see what lays out, and it ends up working out just fine. So this it's a great counterplay. The first goal in the first few seconds usually doesn't depict what an entire game will be. You gotta be consistent. Scion wants to drop on it. That's all of a decoy bar down and out. Can it be done one more time? The Golden Knights will have to walk away.
Hydro stayed on that corner, maybe anticipating a teammate to step up and advance forward to get that extra touch. It was not to be. They still have possession here. Hydro gonna pop it high. Wizard thought about it for a second, but instead makes the wiser choice. Just play it to the corner. Now that'll be shut down and shielded. UCF's defense trying to come up big, but a couple of touches and finally Laser with that midfield presence. Good pre-jump there from Nano. I talk about this young talent and what Nano's able to bring. I've been seeing it in my personal streams for a while. I've seen it as he's been growing up and now at the collegiate level and just staying true to his name. And obviously you can tell the practice has gone in because his mechanics are pretty stout. And we'll see him on display yet again. Here's a touch to the ceiling. He'll go. Now it's back down. He just banked off the ceiling. Nobody there to defend it, so Nano will take that one every day. It's a 2-1 lead here for UCF.
Wizrow was climbing the ladder and couldn't quite make that next read. It's so easy whenever you have the initial parabola. You're like, all right, this one's going to arc. But then the extra touch to just get it to the ceiling, and you have something at minimum of a threat, and Nano's been able to find big profit margins off of the top crossbars. So, UCF Knights, an initial answer and then a follow-up. They're about to turn this into an entire paragraph, especially as Scion was looking for the third.
Oh, Hydro. He threw in a head fake there, really trying to take it to him, maybe find some versatility in this situation. Nano with a gentle touch from the backside of his car to try to send it in, but Wizrow is all over it. For the quarter, he'll go. Back wall. Shut down by Nano yet again. Now they'll have a chance to step up to a lot of room for Nano to work with. No flip reset in hand, try to serve it as a fake, maybe Poco and get a touch, but that was not to be. Now Hydro, they had to be careful, the Knights did. They did a great job to tap it to themselves. A couple of touches will clear the zone for them. And now this one will bank off the ceiling, although it's dangerous. Hydro's on it. Now flip reset, did not get it. Wizrow is able to follow up and take an extra shot. And now they left it on a platter. Unfortunate blunder for the Queens. You never like to see the Queen off the chessboard. And unfortunately, that's what happened there. 3-1 Knights.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because their previous touch was attempting to feed it to an immediate man and kind of that deep sidewall off the left corner. And their player, honestly, has been a little bit too honest at times. I want to see some deception if I can, because they just know the defender's already lurking. They have to force them, I guess, to bite out, but instead of playing a bit more back towards their teammates, they're just kind of slamming it, hoping something kind of works out. Sion set up. That's a shot. Oh, it rings off the bar.
Unlucky. Just a little bit of inaccuracy. I mean, it would have been a 4-1 lead, so you still have this lead. Another shot taken as well, denied by Hydro. All right, velocity shot, but the Queen's Golden Gales are really working hard to try to keep it close as they make it yet another save there from the doorstep, but UCF just won't give them a moment to breathe.
They can take at least a gasp right now as 3 has been stricken away from them. They were almost looking for an extension on that passing play, and Laser steals that corner boost because of it. Nano ends up a head length just a bit too far, and Hydro again, it kind of looked like they were just trying to take an honest shot. They were bringing it over to Nursen to maybe find the finisher, but otherwise he had to really stretch out to it, uncomfortably so. And we've always seen an answer of a UCF player body right in the midst of it all. I think that one might be open. Well, it's gonna be. Nano, they will find their hat trick as they get 3 of the 4.
Nano's been great. Really, the entirety of UCF finding passing plays and relying on their defense to really start off some pressure on the offensive side has been very clutch as they've worked their way downfield pretty methodically in basically every instance. And you see them yet again just putting pressure on pretty consistently, forcing Queens into some decisions that they certainly want back. Because after taking that early lead, again, one of those situations where you strike first, but UCF doesn't care. They basically come back out in a heater as they put up 4 straight in this game number 1 to make a statement piece. And they have no plans of letting off the gas here in this one. 25 seconds left. They'll be happy and content to just kill this clock.
Oh yeah, and they could be able to build up extra. It's the same as going 1-0 against the team, but this also is a reminder of the Queen's Golden Gales that there is a lot of work to be done. They definitely are a bit kind of out of sync with one another about what they want to do when it comes to getting onto offense. Florida, they seem that they are just all hands on deck. Oh, and they nearly find another one as a good to go. UCF, Golden Knights. Well, they currently take the shine off of the Golden Gales. We'll see how this one continues on into game number 2.
Yeah, you have the best of both worlds. You have your, your superstar youngster in Nano popping off here with the hat trick, like we mentioned. 3 of 4 shooting, by the way, so very accurate. To the throwback of the 2022 CRL Worlds Elite. You see the title in front of you sticking around. So you got some leadership, you got some age, but you also have some young talent. So a very well-balanced breakfast, if you will, that we've got to see come together from this team. UCF Knights looking really strong, and the Queen's Golden Gales, we've seen them out of some series, if you will, in best of 5s. We've seen them come back with a passion. I expect nothing less than a challenge here in this game number 2 for the Knights.
You know, you talked about how they're a bit of a smaller school as well. Coming from the previous semester, working into this one, they actually were in challengers over with NECC into the spring. So they've gotten to the top 8 for that Northeast division. They ultimately didn't make it out further from that first round of the playoffs. So Wizroad has some depth. It's just about being able to get everyone kind of on the same idea. And it feels like they're maybe just a half step behind. That first game, best of 7, I'm starting to see not just that, it's one of my favorite formats, but also it's going to be a very beneficial way for these rosters to kind of give themselves an extra moment of reprieve to start getting, started into these series. We go to game 2.
Oh, and right off the bat, Hydro striking. Queen's Golden Gales, they don't take very long to score. We'll see if they can put it up in bunches, but a bit of a miscue there from UCF, and Hydro just did the rest with a good read.
They don't take too long to score at the start of the game, but then they don't score the rest of the game. All right, let's see if that one changes. It took 3 seconds last time, 7 seconds this time. I need the Golden Gales to build. I also need a backboard defense. Finally, Wizro is able to step up in the way. They don't want to allow Nano to have another hat trick style game. UCF fans in the chat will say otherwise, as Wizro will collect. It's a bit of a double commit zone-wise. Sion, with a limitation of boost, makes the best of it and allows everyone on UCF to rotate, and they're going to go back on the attack.
A bit of a hesitation as far as communication goes there from the Queens to try to see who's going to jump onto that one. And that forced a desperation save, and that really breaks the rotations you're trying to create defensively in order to move out of the zone, and that's why UCF is now seeing this extended pressure. Nano, great tap to himself, up a good fake, brings it right back down, try the ground pinch. By the time they were able to get something off, Queens was able to adjust to it. Now from the back wall, we'll find that touch. Hydro, absolute pinch, a banger back downfield. This will fall in the hands of Nurse and shot taken. Try to catch him by surprise, but you won't fool Nano as he was ready for it all the way.
Yeah, Nano is operating at a different scale right now compared to everyone else for UCF, and they're feeding that hot hand. And it's not like he's acting alone either, because Scion and Laser have been looking so good. A good demo by Nursen, and they're just, you're seeing the Golden Gales, even now they have this 1-0, they have not suffered too quickly from an answer from the Golden Knights, and it feels like they're just trying to get faster, keep this fundamental, and keep it with purpose. Because if you can maintain possession, that's going to be so much more difficult for UCF to do anything. Great steal. Oh, what a 50. Luckily for them, they have someone on the back line, but some of these 50s, I got to wonder how they're able to get them, because they basically just kick them up with no boost.
You don't need boost, it's a crutch. We all learned that day one. It's but to do it regularly is pretty cool. Shot taken again. Oh, far side, still with an extra touch. That didn't feel like it existed. That pinballed around pretty wildly, but now looking to settle and get the flick off was Queens. He saw Nurse in there in the corner, but couldn't find anything additional. And now Laser here at midfield. Challenge there, Nurse, and right back on. And this one will waterfall down on nobody in the box to challenge there from Queens. They did eventually wait for the touch from UCF. I like the patience there to try to regain control, because they have been a whole lot better when it comes to that control. The passing out of the zone's been a lot cleaner as well, and we'll see another example of that as they will get it past Nano and put on some pressure.
There was 3 Golden Gales all in one spot, and I thought that rotation was about to be completely capitalized on. Wizro climbs over the top of 2, and now he's chasing down Scion, unable to get a demo to him, but they give enough chance for Hydro to start going to work here in midfield. Nano's not going to have much boost. That's been communicated to a teammate, and that's exactly why they got Scion right next to him to start trying to get that one to move forward. But because they have to collect their offensive rotation into an exact same point, it really limits the extra options that are going to be in front of them. 100 seconds to go here, Bear. We still have the first goal that was scored in the first 7 seconds.
The only difference is that UCF has not scored 4. Got to follow it up, right? Another opportunity for Hydro to get their first 2-goal performance here in Game 2 as well. It started with the demo, as Nursen did a great job to create a little bit of space, but luckily for UCF, Nano was there to kind of clean up the loose change and get it out. Now a miscommunication again from UCF. We've seen that a little bit more frequently in this game number 2, and that's a big reason why they haven't been able to put up that 4 as we head down to just about a minute left, and Queens holding on to the 1-0 lead.
Get 1 score inside of 10 seconds and profit. That was what I just found on a napkin as I went to the bathroom. And Golden Gales, they look like they've that's their only game plan. Make sure, the extra one that's on the other side of the napkin, don't let UCF get anything.
Oh, well,
I'm ripping that one away.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's part. That one had water on it.
That was clearly a pyramid scheme that you're reading. Right,
yeah, my bad.
You really got to look out for those. Nano, you don't see the goal that wide open very often, but when you do, you're going to launch it into the back of the nets, and Queens, after holding on for so long, doing such a great job defensively, unfortunately, it felt like they just gave one away.
You can't just hold. You got to build. If you're going to keep that much of a death grip, then it better be laying brick by brick. Hydro, they force Scion to make a very unsteady save. It pops up and then suddenly turns into a chance. Laser has no boost, still working for the 50, and now do they give enough airspace for Scion to work? They actually bump into Wizro. This is going to elevate again. Nano goes down, and now they're looking for a redirect. Nano with an extra shot and a chance that goes through. That's 2 in a row for the Knights.
Oh, this kid's special, isn't he? Another chance to jump in. Laser off the side wall, and Nano, right spot, right time. But it was all about his touch a little bit earlier. He scored, put them on the board with a freebie, and then when they needed the most off the corner, Queens' unfortunate collapse here as now Nano perhaps looking for the hat trick here to add insult to injury. But after Queens did such a good job holding on for 4 minutes, it was UCF in the final minute to make it 2-0 here in the series.
It felt like UCF, I mean, they were just struggling to be able to get anything kind of working around Queens, and you called it out a couple times. They kind of left something behind, and now UCF simply had to wait for the youngster in Nano to go to work. Laser was consistent, moving up and down the pitch, being able to kind of really feed the beast that is Nano at times. But I feel like after game number 1, that's again another reason why some of these extended series are really going to find some profits and benefits to these teams. Like, okay, who is there a hot hand? Who is the ace maybe that we need to pay more attention to? And it felt like they keyed up into Nano, and then they just couldn't finish the job late term in that game.
Well, yeah, exactly. In that last sequence that I was referring to, Nano was about to slow play it, and they bumped him off of it. And instead of being complacent, instead of just playing defensively and say, oh, it's 1-1, we'll just play overtime, Nano said, no, you know what? Let's change the pace. Let's get out there and put in a goal with less than 10 seconds left, and a different story here. Queens, you got hot starts. It's all about consistency through there on out. So, Hell Monkey Man, gotta leave it to you. What are your 1 or 2 tips that you can give this team to find that consistency and play the full 5 minutes?
All right, cool. All right, here we go. This is Monkey Man's coaching session. This one's for free. All right.
Yep.
You lost my face, but it's fine. 1, keep scoring inside the first 10 seconds. That's what you got to keep doing.
Okay.
2,
Yep.
score again. Score again. That hasn't happened yet. They're not got one in the first 10 seconds. I also like that they're able to put at least some extended pressure onto some man-on-man play, because they've really been forcing just zone and chase. And I don't mean dump and chase. They've definitely boomed the ball a couple of times, but they're able to find these 50s, and then they're able to really kind of take over when it comes to just being in the same kind of territory as each of these UCF Knights players. But they haven't done that enough. And Laser, they got him to jump, and they just dig that ball right underneath the defender.
Yeah, you freeze the defender, thinking, what's the possibility of him going far side? And then Wizro, I mean, I'd like to see him jump out and challenge that, cut off the angles, that way you're not allowed any of those opportunities. But he was still landing and trying to adjust, so I get it, it's difficult. But that's one that you got to have defensively. You can't let UCF jump out to this lead in that manner. So you got to let that one go. You got to move forward.
Let it go by. And you know what? The last 2 games, actually, whoa, hold on. Laser. How did he get up here so freely? Okay. Hydro elevated it. Nursen, Wizro was hoping Boost would spawn on that opposite corner. That's just a good placement shot.
It is. You see them struggling in that corner. You know, because you've been there as a player. Like, everybody's been there. We get it. And as much as we preach, don't do Boost over ball, well, in these high octane games and matches that we see in front of us, you have to sometimes. So, you can't blame him. But when you see it happening to somebody else, you like to take advantage of it. And Queens is looking to target this back wall now, but Cyan had other ideas. Great job to shield it here. They'll need to do it again, as charging towards the box was Nursen. And met at midfield by Hydro. Goal to turn in. He's going to read off the ceiling, try to push it forward, but unfortunately got away from his car. And the first one on it is going to be Nano from the UCF Knights, who doesn't have any goals, doesn't have any assists here, and yet UCF still finds himself with this 2-0 lead.
Doesn't need too much. This squad, they know where they need to kind of draw a lot of that extra firepower, and they don't have to force it. Simply playing your part is enough for the team to get a dub. And that's not just riding the bench. That's simply, able to make everything operate the right way. Nano puts a softball into the box. Laser's going to try and back pass it. Nano's looking for Boost. He doesn't find anything in the corner. Nano will allow the Golden Gales to press up. Wizro, can they find a 50? They do, and give it over to Hydro, who was kind of lurking at the top of the key. Wizro wanted to do it again. Now there's a lot of trust into Scion to make this a neutral 50. Nursen didn't have enough boost to truly get back to it, but Nano had to kind of trust in that, and then they allow Laser to get that save on the back end.
And by the time that Wizro was able to actually adjust for that one, you could tell that he wasn't able to get the angle necessary in order to get any velocity on that shot. So looked like an opportunity wasted, unfortunately. A good fake to get Nano off that ball, yes, initially, but at the end of the day, you're looking for results. And perhaps UCF looking for some results of their own, but Hydro able to shut that down before anything develops. Oh, it looks like he missed that one too. Laser. Oh, bumped off it by Nano. Hello. That's your teammate, buddy. And now Hydro opportunity will play high, but Sign will have to bail out the miscoordination of, it's not a word, but UCF Knights just not looking coordinated in that instance.
You know what? There's only one teammate for me, and it's the net. It's the thing that gives me score. That's all that matters on the pitch. That's, you know, they're able to find some fun in the midst of it all, because right now 2-0 feels like a mountain to climb for the Golden Gales, especially because they've only scored within total the first 10 seconds of either game 1 and game 2. That's the first 3 and the first 7.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been shut out for a long while after that.
Exactly. And they only have 2 goals total in the series, so to summon 2 of those,
Yeah.
would be incredibly difficult, especially after you've seen this UCF team and their defense and their offense all in the combo, just that much wide. And they're going to tap it down again, out in front, and the Bugs lingering menacingly. Wiz are able to jump onto this one. And that midfield Laser will punch it directly back in towards the net. Look at full the defense of Queens. They took their time to get back to this one, but a couple of touches will free them up, but they only got a minute left.
A couple times I swear that the Knights just kind of told Sion to hit the Lazy Boy recliner and just let him go to work. At times been able to really kind of feed it. This one's going to be much the same. They're going to do it over from Sion to Nano. And this defense, they tried to swarm, but they just couldn't get a piece of that ball.
Exactly. If you're going to play that style where you want to collapse on one player in the corner, you have to get the denial. They were just all in on a touch in that moment. And UCF was able to just play it around them.
Oh.
There was no chance to strike back here. Need that goal, but a great anticipatory save. As Sion was able to shut it down, one that was needed for Queens, but they weren't able to get it.
The turn one extra, but they don't need it at all. 1-0, 3-0. It's something and oh. And the UCF Knights are keeping this one a complete shutout for as long as they can. They've been able to hold the Golden Gales for now 3 sequential games for 4+ minutes without getting scores, either after initial or without any. So a 5-minute one, maybe they get something in the final 10. Let's see if they can boil anything up. Golden Gales need a consolation prize to start getting into this fight, because UCF looking too darn strong. Oh, nice catch by Nano. Wants to keep this up. Grab some boost. Go from end to end, young man. Okay. Pre-jump on target. Wizro says, nah.
I had enough. Yeah, that's what Wizro said in that second. I love the ambition from Nano. Hey, let's put the gas pedal back down. We know that Queens... well, technically, they can score quickly because they have been doing that in the first 10 seconds of the first couple of games. But, I mean, why give them a chance to get back in the series, especially when it's been decently close. The defenses, except for subtle moments here from the Queens defense, have been stellar. So I don't blame him. He wants more. He's blood hungry, and now they'll have their chance to close out. And Nano has absolutely been dynamic. Again, that's a couple of hat tricks early to kick off, and then another goal towards the end, I believe. So once again, we'll see this team just put up numbers, goals in bunches, and continue to try to ride that. For Queens, whole different story. You got to find some goal scoring. It's got to be a change of pace somehow. If you slow play it, if you back pass, if you utilize space, if it's demos, you got to figure it out here, because obviously this 0-3 is not feeling pretty good. No,
not right now. They had a 0-3 on the pitch, and they had a 0-3 on the series, and that's going to stay there for a while. You got a reverse sweep of best of 7 now for your week 1 gameplay, and if anything, this is going to be all right. We got simply keep your head. This is one of those where it may be all for naught. You're going to be playing into this series. It's going to be game by game by game to have a chance to even tie it and then head towards the 7th repetition. Golden Gales, this is a mental battle at this point in time. I want to see them keep their heads held up high and be able to hold their nerve.
Absolutely 0 to lose at this point. I don't think anybody tuning in is really thinking that a best of 7 reverse sweep is going to happen with good reason. I mean, the numbers are against them, so why not just put it all on the pitch? Take some risks. Change it up. This is our advice for Fisher. Why can't it apply to Queens as well here in this area?
Evolve. So far, it's just kind of a lot of lobbing, a lot of gold, kind of going end to end. I think one of the big things that really has been at the detriment of the Golden Gales is that they've not been able to find 50s turned into shots. I think a couple times they did find at least something dropping into the back zone. And then ultimately, oh, nice extra draw there, but ultimately they never had a chance that lingered long enough for them to at least threaten the box. That's going to be a nice clear, and they're at least keeping UCF beyond the midline.
Holding them in, holding them true. Nano's just got extra touch for days that maybe Queens hasn't expected. All the way up to the ceiling is Wizrow, but the Knights were able to get to it in time. Hydra from his side. Nano shuts him down. Great midfield presence, but so is Wizrow as he jumped up to it with that purpose. Now Sion with some extra room to work with. They'll tap it back down to this midfield. Wizrow and Hydro both on that one, so a couple of the Golden Gales will jump into it. Miscues yet again. I mean, Queen's taken such a long time to try to push it into center, but now is their opportunity to strike, and of course, unfortunately for them, that's just the way the series has gone.
I want to see more of that, though. I want to see even more, because eventually something like that will bend the bar. You can feel frustrated about it, but it's going to be what gives you at least a chance. Nano's floating with us. Laser gets a demo onto Nursen, and that will thin him out and create some chaos for all of a second, but still Wizrow and Hydro combining just fine. Just enough to keep UCF from having or being able to get some offense, and they have to retreat. Now, you have to trust in Hydro, who doesn't have a lot of boost, and now everyone's suddenly flying. Old man craning his neck to the sky, and yet you shut down that next shot. We're seeing an evolution of the Golden Gales defense. Can they keep it up?
And Wizrow, if he hadn't shut down Nano, he had eyes for that net and was able to jump into space before it developed. Now Hydro needing a big touch here. That's available. And now Wizrow just going to try to ground ball this one in. It works. Finally, a goal outside of the first 10 seconds in Queens with a lead with 2:15 left.
Oh, Sion caught looking just a little bit long, and then I think Nano and Sion were kind of on the same rotational path. Nano basically been kind of on top of both their teammates. It's a loose leash, and they let the dog run. And Wizrow looking for some kind of chance just to get the ball out of a threatening territory. Nano actually a little bit lucky, as they had one player from the Golden Gales pressing up, flip reset to get this extension, but UCF is starting to get kind of kicked back.
So we'll play off the sidewall now. He's got Nursen up for this one. Hydro, the combination off one point. No, you gotta be kidding me.
Wow.
The perfect three-man play, and the ball was 99% into that net, but still no goal to show for it. Luckily, they still have the lead, but other than that, they need more. And now UCF Knights able to get away with this one. And just the way things have gone, you feel like something's developing the other way. Sure enough, an opportunity develops. Luckily for the Queens Golden Gales, nothing comes of it. And now they're back out to midfield.
They would love some insurance. They would love to be able to score more than just one per game. Last game had nothing. This one's looking a little bit better, as UCF is being held not just at arm's reach, but basically right to the white of the knuckles. Hydro going to kind of wait that out. They're going to have Wizrow fill the gap, and then they kind of get a separation on the ball. Then between Sion and Moore, and Nano's going to slow play this. They go up above, flip reset. Hydro wants to come down. Laser is right behind it off of the challenge. And so we may be seeing UCF drop one here, and, well, another huge save, but Nursen gets the follow-up.
Oh, man. The Knights' defense is so hard to break through, because Wizrow, I mean, that should have been in. Nano was able to make a big save, but credit Queens for just continuously laying on the pressure, and you know you're taking risks, and it's paying off. So, yeah, you're right. You wanted to see more of that, Monkey Man, and you've gotten your wish thus far. But you can't collapse. Again, there's still 38 seconds on this clock, and we know how the Knights can strike.
They've been able to nullify Nano. And even when they do so offensively, Nano has been awakened defensively. And yet, Golden Gales are persistent and insistent. Nursing, they leave him up. Laser doesn't have any boost. Everyone just going from the ground. I think UCF wants to play some more Rocket League. They're going to get a nice bump, and that's a big defensive effort by Nursing and Queens. Well, guess what? It's not done in 4. We got another one on the books as UCF will see Golden Gales pass on by and take game number 4.
And it's exactly what we've seen in the first, 10 seconds, but typically the first 1 minute of just about every game, where Queens has had a presence that forces UCF, as talented as they are, and as many mechanical plays as we've seen from UCF, they still hold them true, right? Their defense is able to shut them down whenever they need to, but also they're just forcing their hands defensively. It looks like UCF is having to use those mechanics a little bit more than they would like to, which obviously means boost out of the tank as well, which extends their offensive stay. You'd like to see more of it. We've seen more of it, but Queens can't be content with just 1. You got 3 more to go.
We got to see them diving, and honestly, if you're going to be kind of pushed out of a series, you don't want to go out without making some efforts and some challenges. And honestly, that's what developed into opportunities and what kept UCF from finding those cleaner kind of upfield passing plays, extending it longitudinally then laterally. You got to see them kind of bring it to the wall a few extra times, and that's actually where they found a lot of extra profit, especially because I think it was Scion that was finding a lot of nano kind of fed level plays. If they can do that again, they can be able to get around the Golden Gales. But here's the greatest thing right now, Bear. Golden Gales got 1. That's the first step towards a reverse sweep. But now you got to get 2.
Getting 2 means denying this talented team a handful of more times. Are they up for the challenge? We've seen it in seasons past, but this might be one of the biggest challenges we've seen. UCF Knights give themselves a lead in the series, 3-0. Queens answers back if you're just joining us. Now Laser with a great job to play this one forward with a bit of a dunk, and Scion will try to play it off the back wall, but Hydra was able to find it. And a couple 50s of his own will push it forward for Queens, so yet another chance for UCF that's just denied by Queens. Their defense continues that same run that we've seen pretty consistently in that last game. It continues here.
UCF kind of left chasing. I know that they're kind of acting individually at times. That's going to be one player that goes upfield. Hydro left in a very dangerous spot. If they miss that, that's free grass. And then you have this kind of collective collision between 2 teammates of the Golden Gales. So no one's playing very clean right now. Looking for that bump, maybe to go in front of the ball. Nursing is able to get calm. Hydro, oh man, that was a screamer. It's only screaming off of the pipelines, and they can't get anything but fence. As it feels like Golden Gales are kind of getting fenced in right now. An awkward defense, to say the least.
And Wizro knew that he had to bump his own teammate to get there, or to get the clear, but still, as uncoordinated as it looks, still trying to find that spark. I wouldn't necessarily say that they had it in that game too. They did just enough to kind of hang around. They need something to really get spirits high here in their chat, in their voice comms. That's a great pass over though. Shot taken by Nursing. But no velocity on it here. It's Nano as he'll look to collect, but Wizro stands in his way. Now looking to play it. Otis center field. This will hit the top of the box, and Laser was keen to it, able to get to it. And now Nursing back up. A lot of space to work with. Almost found that read. A quick turn, a flick. Sets up Hydro. Shot taken, denied by Scion. Nursing back on it too, and the shot free. Laser with a great recovery save. And UCF Knights, well, they're able to get out of dodge.
Bananas defense, especially because they played for and against pace. They were able to take hot shots. They were then slowing them down. They're trying to get everyone to commit. I mean, even when they drew the triple commit out of UCF, they didn't otherwise get into the back of the net. Great head on the shoulders here of the Golden Knights, as now we're well beyond the midway mark. And what a passing play, by the way. Nursing was like, bro, hit that thing straight off the grass. I'm going to be going in a straight line.
Definitely no detours on that last sequence. Nano off that sidewall was bullied a little bit, or at least chased away from it. That allowed Wizro to go for this one. Now he's got plenty of room to work with, but no boost. Still trying to use that back wall. Hydro's up for it anyways. A great 1-2 punch here from Queens, and now they've got the 1-0 lead. Less than 2 minutes left in this game number 5.
Look at Nano, very last second to go and support Scion, especially because Scion was left no boost, attempting the squishy save and just looking for anything. And now UCF. Both sides posturing up some defense. One a little bit more measured than the other. Wizro looking for a chance. Nursen will back up, and Laser recognizes when his team is now starting to slouch. Gotta find a chance to at least put some greater threats against the Golden Gales. Nursen wants to stretch this one a bit wider. Do you see Scion kind of chasing it down there? You're starting to feel some urgency from UCF. It's not quite, you know, the major threat of a full reverse, but you don't want that to linger for too long.
Certainly don't. You see Nano, every single touch is either to a teammate or off the ceiling to himself, off the wall to himself, but he rarely gives away possession. But right now, Queens has earned possession back, and nobody's able to get back to it. There was a reaching defender, but not one that'll make a save. Queens suddenly 2-0 game here, and they've got some life.
That was once again, by the way, gonna be a last-second save by Nano. Nursen, that's why you secure the bag. Nursen slammed home, crashed through, and did not allow that one to squeeze out of the pipeline. Nano has been on one. Unfortunately for UCF, they've been, well, not on it enough offensively, and it's because Golden Gales have really been taking stock of what's in front of them. Wizro over the top. Can they get this one extended? They do, but so is found by Scion. They will pinch together. This is going to go to the opposite side corner, and Hydro immediately airs it out.
UCF finding themselves in a peculiar situation. Another demo, freeze it up, another shot in. Nursen, his second of the game. And a 3-0 lead from Queens. No solution found for the Knights.
Bodied. Absolutely turned into nothing. Straight up deleted at the post, and that's Nano trying to maintain control of the ball as it was coming towards his net and not wanting to kick it up. Well, you turn yourself into a target. Scion off the flick, and this is going to be a clean sheet for the time being. 30 seconds approaching, Bear, and Golden Gales, they're really trying to take all the wind out of the sails of the Knights.
I talked about a spark being needed. This is it. I mean, the way they've been able to deny UCF, their luck has changed a little bit too. Some of those 90% in the net situations, well, the bounces are starting to find their way into situations. Their position has been a lot better in a lot of these instances. As they look for a fourth goal here, it will go. It's Wizro yet again. He'll get on the board as well. That makes all 3 members of Queens in the goal column. And this is exactly what they needed to really start a conversation. UCF, they have actually disappeared here, but all because Queens, well, they've taken the Knights and they've really just sorted them off the horse.
So we move into game number 6. That's going to be our longest series of the night so far. Queens Golden Gales. Not just a conversation, but a possibility. The probability scale, if you look over at the ESPN graph, is starting to really bend a little bit. So all the unders are starting to go, okay, this is, you can stop playing now, Golden Gales. Let my UCF Knights win, please and thank you.
And the midfield presence is where they got to continue. It almost feels like they need this 12-7 shot differential in favor of them in order to make it happen. But they've been doing a good job to at least trap in midfield, take more shots, and that'll need to continue here moving forward. But there's no bigger statement to be made in a series than to shut out the team that's been shutting you out in the game-winning column moving into this next game. And listen, we're just one away from a Game 7 forcing the hands of UCF, and really, we'll see what kind of team they are here from the get-go. I love this as a series.
Just looking at what the series is right now, this is definitely UCF's to lose. Obviously, they were in a 3-0 stance, and then considering what now the players need to be talking about, it has to be a lot of focus on this game. Game 7 obviously is a possibility, still in the future because we ain't done playing yet. But Game 6, this is not just the turn of the tide. This will depict whether or not full contention and momentum is being held by the Golden Gales, or if UCF simply can get the job done. A little bit of help. Laser, though, they're going to score first.
Yeah, after all that momentum built, you hate to see one like this going. Laser took the shot, and Nursing, it felt like he had that angle, but at the end of the day, you put on pressure. That's why you take shots. We said that they need to outshoot UCF. Well, when UCF is shooting, they're getting the bounces just like we saw earlier in the series. Now Zion's got room to work with as well. Rizzo needed a big save. They at least got that.
I was a little concerned for this first minute of play. It looked like Queens had simply forgotten what they wanted to do gameplay-wise. They had completely, Nursing hitting someone with their trunk, but it looked like they were just kind of getting in each other's way. Nursing has been a lot more active as well as kind of this, not just a third, but a front man. They did it from the early game 1 and 2, and then now finding a lot more effort here in the past couple, but Knights are trying to take advantage of a bit of the chaos that the Golden Gales have allowed to come about. Hydra has nothing left to adjust for, and they can't find the double.
Yeah, that musty, breezy combination there, if you will. That sidewall try to work it in. Nano stays put, and wisely, like a head of stone, trying to get through a wall. He would not let that happen here. As Nursing diving in, try to cause a little bit of chaos, but this one will be cleared nicely. And on it is Nano as he'll tap it backwards. Tries to find the back pass, and Laser is able to tap it past one. That'll be room to work with. Here's the ceiling. Now we'll play it off this back wall. Sion off the back wall as well. But the third man stays put. Nano just didn't want to take a risk. He got a 1-0 lead. No need to push in that moment. But it felt like they left one on the board here, so Queens will definitely take that. Hydra will try to tap it down himself. Sion on this. Tapped out by Nursing, but this one, Queens able to get to Nano, and they've really done a great job of cutting off Nano, not allowing him to have any sort of space, and it's been working in their favor, but they still find themselves down 1, maybe 2 after this. Nano carrying, but Hydra a big save.
I love seeing those kind of high-level mechanical plays, but you also recognize that it's not going to hit all the time, especially because you're in a one-on-one. It takes a very steady defender to make sure they don't find themselves susceptible to it. Looking for an extra shot, and they're maybe looking to pass it back to Nurse, and Hydro has no boost, but they will hand it off to Wizrow. Wizrow's going to be going, and they go flying, trying to be able to get something off of the wall. They bump around Nano, but this stays in the corner. This is the problem, is that they've been able to extend all the way to the front end of this pitch, but they've been unable to really get true shots from outside of the perimeter. Wizrow keeps it low, and they're trying to skim it around, but that's just too easily read by Sion.
You can tell the message from UCF Knights coaching staff has been like, let's go back to the fundamentals. Keep this a simple game. We've got a 1-0 lead. It doesn't mean playing on your heels by any means, but what it means is play a clean game of Rocket League. Make sure your rotations are there. Don't take risks. But unfortunately, that is not a clean play. Laser a little bit too far ahead of that one. But will it come back to bite them? Wizard trying to press into the box. Laser will make up for it, though, with the big clear. And now we'll kill even more time here for the Knights, and maybe more here, as this one up high. Now Sion with a 50-50 to play it down to the box, challenge it, but Hydro has got a big clear of his own.
You got to prioritize the back line being populated by Nano. That truly has been the difference maker here. Nano went from being not just their top shooter, but also the sure-handed defender, and really looking to be the main man that keeps anyone from Queens getting through. They got that one goal, and it's going to be the only one they really need to be able to take this series and complete it, get the job done, and snuff out the hopes of the Golden Gales. 75 seconds. Wizrow goes, actually Hydro goes wanting. Wizrow comes up with a demo. Nursing. Can they adjust to it? Redirect. And no one was at home. Too many demos. Both found by Nano and Laser. It's at the goal line. We have a minute to go. We have more explosions than we do goals out of the Gales.
Oh, Nano's so clean with it, too. He put through a head fake and now tried the 50-50 at the end, as that fake served a purpose to just kick Queens to bite. Now Hydro needs some room to work with. It's shut down yet again. Couple of touches. Nano, flip reset. Didn't get much more out of it, but an extra touch from a teammate made it very dangerous. Here as Queens tries to transition. No room. Denied. Laser shot. Nano might have put this one away. 29 seconds, and the Knights up 2.
One double commit deserves another. You had two going at the net, then they both tried to be able to escape. Laser stole it, and Nano was always looking for a way to put the Gales down. The Knights Can they simply run out the rest of this clock? As Wizrow aims for a 50 off the fake. They have Hydro tearing it through, but they can't get that ball on the back of the side of the pitch.
And now Nano was looking for a bump, I believe. Got a little bit too far ahead of it. Really, it just kills some time. It fell back into their hands. Queens needs one now. They won't get it. It's another big clear. And a touch off the corner, and they'll kill enough time. UCF, man, the Queens, Golden Gales, they were coming. But it's shut down, denies the reverse sweep. Here in game number 6, it'll be UCF with the first win of their series.
Gale force winds met the shores of Florida, and the Knights had shields all up, standing firm and defended the rampart until the last man. Game 6 is as far as they will go, and UCF will come up 1-0 for the start of week 1 in NECC play. Gotta give it to the Gales, though. Never giving up. Being able to play this one out. UCF at times getting experimental, trying a few things while they have the leniency to do so, but to shut down the series in game number 6 is such a pivotal moment as well. Don't allow them to have any hopes and dreams for game number 7.
That first goal of that last game in game 6 that we saw was absolutely detrimental, it felt like. Queens spent the entirety of this series being able to get out to an early lead, and, they were starting to gain that momentum, but when they lost that, it seemed tough. You felt like you were just trying to dig yourself out the entirety of that game. And when you finally just try an all-ditched effort, just throw all the cards in, throw all your chips in the middle of the table, and when you do that, obviously when you have the decision-making that we've seen from Nano, just the setup ability from Scion, and Laser being able to hold it down as the GOAT has been around for a long time and still got it in him as well, to make this a 3-person effort in order to make the UCF Knights take Queen and checkmate.
I like that. Okay, good. You had that one in the back pocket the entire time. Well, for us right now, we are going to be going into a short break. We've got our last matchup of the night. It's going to be between Northern Arizona University, their varsity squad, against Oklahoma Christian University Esports Eagles. Let's see if they'll fly high or simply chop them down. We'll be back in just a moment.
Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. 100% pure protein-packed power in a stick. I want Wenzel's Farm. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst. I used to view you as a mountain that I couldn't climb but first. But I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst. You were the calm to my storm. You could take the wind, and though the winds were hard, weighing on our shoulders, these the ice could never break us in. You were my horizon that I didn't see at first. You were my horizon, and the breeze is just what I deserve. You were my horizon that I didn't see at first. You were my horizon, and the breeze is just what I deserve. I used to view you as a mountain that I couldn't climb but first. But I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst. You were my horizon that I didn't see at first. You were my horizon, and the breeze is just what I deserve. You were my horizon that I didn't see at first. You were my horizon, and the breeze is just what I deserve.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NECC. We're in the midst of our final matchup here for Rocket League Week number 1. Again, I'm Hell Monkey Man. That is Bear Light, and you have been seeing some awesome Rocket League Division 1 and Division 2. We will continue with Dose into our final matchup. And Bear, we haven't had complete shutouts as of yet. I'm trying to knock on anything that's wood, but I'm pretty sure everything is metal and rubber and leather out here. So what do we got going into our final matchup of the evening?
We got a team that's really proven themselves in culture, in Legends division last season. So OC Esports, the Eagles of Oklahoma Christian, has really put together a team that's respectable. I know Lucas Hayworth personally, Maestro as he goes by. This is a true leader who looks for personalities. Character is really what he's after here, a team that he can build around, and the Eagles certainly pack a punch. But we've seen NAU Varsity, who will come in with Beast, Car, and Chronicle tonight. We've seen them do big things at the NECC level as well, or just at the NECC network as well. So they'll certainly be a little bit of a challenge. But OC Esports, I mean, this team built to absolutely be dynamic. Chili and G-Man have been around for a while. And Hail Monkey Man, you can tell us a little bit about North and what he brings.
Oh yeah, I have actually been running some draft league style series and systems for the last 6.5 years, and North has been involved in the last at least 2 or so years. You got to see them evolve all the way from console to PC, and they already looked good before they made the hardware switch up, and as soon as they were given the upgrade, whew, they have been soaring. So OC, Eagles, they look formidable. NAU, I love the program. I've been able to see not just their Rocket League, but as well as their varsity Valorant system. So I know that there's a depth here. Want to see if the same kind of throughput is going to be brought out by this combo of Chronicle, Car, and Beast, because they were able to make the top 8 into the West before getting 3-0'd by GCU in the spring. And GCU, we knew before a couple of extra change-ups, was also pretty darn good. So NAU has seen their fair share of having to go against some of the Titans, and both these teams kind of going into side grades, upgrades. OC Esports, they were in Legends, and now they kind of sit Div 2 after some play-ins. NAU, they were in Champions, so they sit kind of around that same tier. So this could be a nice measuring stick for NAU if they're ready for what OC brings.
Yeah, absolutely. A team on the rise versus a team that I would not say is on the fall, but they certainly maybe underperformed in those play-ins, so they're looking to maybe have a chip on their shoulder and work their way back into a situation where they can be considered one of the top Rocket League teams in collegiate. We'll see if they're able to accomplish this. Well, we'll get to see them on the pitch now as game number 1 begins of this best of 7. And we'll see who really digs deep early. It's not always been the team that starts with an early lead that really ultimately wins a best of 7. So it's really, you're in it for the marathon. And which team can really start to develop things here. The first tap in will go into North. You talked a little bit about him earlier. And that's a transition to PC. Well, it's showing itself right now with a quick 1-0 lead for OC.
Just the most beautiful little cartwheel to get yourself up there, flying on up north and then heading that one right back down south. A nice adjustment, especially as Chili had already opted in for going to grab that boost, but it's going to be a knock-in here by Car as they find a gap from the kickoff.
You need to strike back, you need an answer pretty quickly, and you got it from Car, who's quick enough to beat North to it. And so a drawn-up kickoff play, at least it felt that way for NAU. And they make themselves known here early that if you're going to score a goal, we're going to give it directly back to you. We're going to dish it right back out. Look at this Beast. Summoning his inner Beast mode in that moment, trying to get a flip reset to develop there, but only got as far as maybe the box as he was shut down shortly after. G-Man flip reset, now almost dunked Car. In fact, he did, but the ball just kind of careens off the side of the net instead. Worth a bit of a dangerous challenge, but he saw Chili. We'll try to push it out to this corner. Car, great job to challenge here and force OC Esports to play in their own zone.
Car is actually making some very kind of clever and inventive moves a couple different times. You got to see it from the defense that they had there. A nice dig by Chronicle as they had actually dropped to the floor to fake out that they could go over the top, and then they elevated almost immediately on a bounce. So that's some very thoughtful maneuvers being brought up here by the Lumberjacks out of NAU. But OC kind of been sequestered to their own back line. G-Man going for a very tight angle redirect if they can get one, an undercut there. And North waiting for anyone to bite. Third man will be on approach, and that is an open net. Beast finds it from distance. Where did the rotation go?
Well, North pushed in, and when Chili missed the bump, you gotta rely on G-Man. And G-Man, I think, trusted a little bit too much that they would have that established pressure versus seeing NAU be able to transition back down with just a shot. So he was left grabbing at that mid boost. And NAU, they answered back quickly. But look, as this shot will find its way through as well. A bit of a loft on that one. Not a whole lot of velocity, but NAU guilty of not being back themselves.
Just getting enough. Nice arc. North was even there for the put-away dunk if they needed it, and G-Man apologizing in the form of a gifted goal. So there you go. You leave one behind. It's the take a penny, leave a penny. Able to turn this one into a quick change for themselves to tie this game back up.
G-Man trying to make a force of himself there at the midfield. Additional touch wasn't there. North kind of dove on it. Not sure where that last man back went, but he went a little bit too far forward, and G-Man will make up for it. Here's a 3-2 lead for OC as Chile did a great job to hold that pressure in right there at the top of the box.
And Chile's already a playmaker. They got that third assist off of being able to keep this one going over the stripes of the Lumberjack defense. And so they enable both G-Man and North getting involved and being able to confidently kind of run it up from the outside. So Chile's going to try and do it one more time. They may end up 100% involved as kind of a main assister here for this Eagles squad. But we've gotten 5 goals inside of the first half of this game, Bear, and I feel like we're just going to be letting loose as fast as we can.
Yeah, there's not going to be a whole lot of time to breathe. You see G-Man right back on it too. Try to use that musty to fling it to the far side. Maybe try to trick a member of the defense there from NAU, but they stay put. Stay disciplined, if you will. But now Chile able to dive into this one. It took a minute before we saw Carr get to that challenge. Now another miscue and a miss, and North won't miss, as he's gifted one there on the doorstep. Christmas came early, and a 4-2 lead here for OC.
It's that nightmare before the presents get unwrapped, and when you get a caster saying miss twice in a row, that's a double that will double down into a doubled up lead. 4-2 right now here for the Eagles. And I mean, they continue to just kind of wrap around that backline defense, and NAU, where they found a brief lead, has quickly found it just gone away.
Like that crafty move from North as well, as that one found the way to his hood. And he almost made the most of that opportunity, but Chile's going to have the handle. G-Man also meets him in this corner. I'm not sure about the decision to just jump on a ball that seemed to have already been played. But either way, I mean, arguing with it is still led to a chance, and Chronicle had to bail NAU out yet again.
Didn't mind it. Mostly because they do have a leniency of a doubled up lead right now, and it was because they went for the quick pinch shot to be able to kind of put it in front of the box while also having a lead blocker in the form of Chile. This is a pretty crafty team. They were able to navigate that just fine as North gets a great save over the attempt by Chronicle, who was attempting to feed it backwards, and I think that was going to go over to Carr as well on the follow. Over the top at this point, G-Man, they have a put away. No, G-Man fills the gap. He does it twice.
What can this man not do? He's so big in that box, they couldn't find a way around him. And now Chile allowed the opportunity to take a shot there as well. Under a minute to play, NAU need to find something. They had plenty of chances, a couple of shots even on that last sequence. And now another one, they get close, but G-Man stands in the way yet again. This guy is a brick wall right now.
A force to be reckoned with offensively and defensively. Can't do enough. And OC looking like they want to send this into an 0-1 against NAU. And with 30 seconds to go, just kind of keeping them back, taking them from distance. Chile parks the bus at the middle of the pitch, grabs the big boost, and no one is in sync right now. You're able to find a hot shot. North will make sure to bail out Carr, and I think they're starting to just wind this one down.
No doubt about it. Well, you're seeing North right here on your screen doing a great job. The youngster, the new addition to this OC team. They did a great job to contribute. I'm starting to learn why he no longer plays with me. That was a joke beforehand, as he used to put in that time, but he is obviously on to bigger and better things here with OC because they played their hearts out. As he'll get 2 goals on the board. G-Man not only playing defensively like we mentioned, he was also 2 for 5 shooting.
Yeah, 12 to 11? We had 23 shots shared between both these teams, and you had 7 saves actually coming out of OC, even though they were the one with a better shot, at least total. And then you had obviously the 4-2 ender there. So You know, this is one of those games. It started so fast. We got one extra bonus goal in the midst of it all, but 5 goals in that first, 2:15 of play. I don't know if we're going to replicate the same kind of pace being brought out, but G-Man, I think, could maybe stand to tell us otherwise because he was just all over that field.
He was. And when things became a little bit more coordinated, you saw that OC fell into their pocket, and I feel like I phrase that as a negative term, but like what I meant to say is like in their comfort zone where they actually looked a lot more relaxed and really put things together, started to dice up the defense. They had to rely on G-Man a few more times than I'm comfortable with on the defensive side to stand in the way. So NAU really got their chances there late, but their defense was up for the challenge, and it really allowed their offense to play how they played best. And with no coincidence, we're seeing the results there at the end of the day. And OC output this 1-0 lead here in this best of 7.
NAU needs to go back to the grindstone and cause a spark on the old axe and see if the Lumberjacks can get themselves another chance.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness, that's a spark and a half for Chronicle.
That is a spark you need for sure. That adjustment was insane in that last second touch, and I would have absolutely lost it. North almost got a save on that, and that would have just been tragic because NAU, that is a beautiful shot. Love to see them coming out with a punch, and Chronicle the one to do it.
May do it again. Trying to get Carr involved as well as he's on the outside flank, just kind of waiting on what's going to be happening. North just throwing it, and Chili getting a chance to get on the board. Everyone bringing it in the first 16 seconds.
Ice cold from Chili. North got up to get the challenge off in the first place, and that was going to be high if Chili did not redirect that on target. Bar down feels great. And they've evened it up at 1. A couple of dynamic plays from both teams really to kick off this game too.
Even getting the Gopher Esports squad to say, woo, sheesh. There's some quick shots that are coming out here. Glad to have you guys with us in the chat as well. And quickly, OC trying to counterplay one more time. North having it saying this high because G-Man was looking for the negative angle and still at the goal line. G-Man getting involved after he has to back up to the grass. Chili doing it again. They got over the Chronicle last man, but they're able to dig it out with Beast.
Everybody's staying put, staying disciplined. It's quite chaotic. But still, at the end of the day, they're making the saves necessary. But Chili back on it. North shot taken. A save still hangs there. And somehow they bail out as Carr got to it and just enough to play it out to the corner. Now they're in transition as well. But the chaos remains. I am not going to kid myself. It was wild. It continues to be that way. There's now an opportunity for North. Tried the double touch. Here's Chili again. Off the back wall and in. What a shot again. OC up 2-1.
You can turn the first minute and 17 seconds of this game into a highlight reel for so many players in this game. Chili,
Oh, yeah.
What a turnaround from the backboard, finding 2 in a row now for the Eagles. But NAU varsity, both these squads they decided, you know what, game 1 was simply not enough on the scoreboard.
Oh my goodness. Who put the hot sauce in this Chili? You can taste it. He is red hot right now. Off the kickoff, North set him up. And then even with Beast in his face, just a simple little pop over the top. And that's going to be his hat trick early. 3-1 lead for OC, and Chili is just feeling it right now.
3 alarm as they have 3 goals. We've got a Hattie in the less than 90 seconds. It is magic. Both these teams, they're bringing it. Beast will find the confusion and turn it into a goal as they find this one quickly. Chronicle messing with North. G-Man had already pre-jumped, expecting the shot a bit sooner.
Everybody getting involved. Yeah, a bit of chaos again defensively. But at the end of the day, it's all about who can put him in the back of the net. NAU needed an answer, and we got it again. A barn burner from the get-go. Now North trying to get involved himself. A touchdown. Chili. Well, he got the bump there. They weren't able to extend it forward. Instead, G-Man will play it backwards to Chili, and he'll use the back wall to challenge it. Use a lot of boost out of the tank there of Carr. And now Chronicle. Oh, he messed up a little bit there. And although North was there, Beast was able to bail him out. So after a big goal, now a big save from Beast, who's really making his presence known. We didn't see a lot of him out of game number 1. Needs to come up big again, and does. Now G-Man will try to put it on there too. But Beast has come alive and arises here in game 2. Still need more of that action too as Chili going to try to strike into the box. And the pressure is immense here from the Eagles.
Oh, and it's not going away. It's quickly just forcing them to flatten out. They pop over the top of one. Is there a shooter coming by? Yes, but they're bumped away. And G-Man, looking at the freest goal possible, quickly snuffed out as Chronicle hid themselves behind the ball. We've had 5 goals inside the first 3 minutes in game 1. A big save by North. They do it inside the first 2 minutes of game 2. These two teams are only getting faster, but for the longest time now, I say a long time, it's been a minute, we have no one reaching the back of the net.
Yeah, you mentioned the 5 goals in 2.5 minutes. How about the 12 shots we've had in that same time frame?
Oh my god.
Unbelievable what we've seen here early. Now, Beast with his 50-50 to try to shield it in. North from the ceiling, try to get that angle to just play it past the last defender. Beast will stay put. North holds him true here in the corner. It actually banks off his own teammate, which will hinder their moment forward. The Lumberjacks right back to it. Jumping in. The North has other ideas. We'll bank it off that little side portion of the wall to play it high. The corner will go. Another shot taken. Oh, no. Pinball action. Unfortunate for NAU, but they take it nonetheless for OC. They go up 4-2.
Look at that feed by North, no matter what, it was really just quick step. They knew that they could be able to key up anyone, be it G-Man or Chili, and to be able to go and get that shot. A little assist defensively, but that's also starting to show the pressure. NAU, they had started this game with a flat angle shot opportunity, and they got it to be able to get a spark to give themselves life. And very reminiscent of that previous game, they have now gone quiet late turn.
Pressure? What pressure? I don't know what you mean.
No pressure. No.
No pressure, no. Just 8 shots from Chili alone. North has put up 4 of his own. Now Carr wants to send it in for a little bit of pressure of their own. Now Carr saw it come back down to Chili and try to jump on it as well, but it'll be handled by Chili as he dribbles it out in the air. Chronicle turns for Beast. Will result to... They just press it forward with a 50-50 zone. That was a bit dangerous. Followed up, still dangerous. Beast now will pop it high. And didn't think that Chili had the boost in the tank. Actually tried to call the bluff, but Chili said I had just enough to get up there and make the initial save. And now let's try to cause even more pressure. They got to be careful. The last member was demoed off this pitch. Might be taking them a little bit too long to develop. No, Beast will, in fact, take advantage of it. So hold that thought. 19 seconds left. NAU Varsity has pulled it back within 1.
And Chronicle has been involved in every single one of these. Beast the last 2 goals here for the Lumberjacks as they finally are able to do a stretch play onto the furthest area just above kind of 2 firmly planted defenders. 19 seconds. Chili has all 4 goals for the Eagles. They're gonna crash, and that's a hat trick for Beast. This one not written in the stars. It's simply written in the bars, and NAU, they're trying to be able to bring it back from the Eagles.
And I know it's a full team effort, but Beast has really been a large portion of this. Defensively, we saw it get off that kickoff too many times. We see an attempt at a carry, and in that instance, all you needed to do was to bank that off, find yourself a waterfall, and find yourself a goal to equalize. But now a touch back, and Chili finishes this one too. 5-4 now, as G-Man with that beautiful double touch to elude the defenders.
Oh, and that one hurts. With all the work the Lumberjacks were able to do, they get that one all the way backfield, force the third man to look up. They can't get a hand on it, and it is full 5 alarm Chili as they get all 5 goals. 1 extra for G-Man if they can. That one goes to the backboard, still alive. NAU, hopes and dreams. Can they get it past Carr? North is going to make it difficult, and that one still going up. Chili makes it all the way to the back wall one more time. G-Man goes chasing. They want a goal. They want to turn this into a 10-goal game, but it will drop, what a shame, to the grass. 2-0. We have a lot of Rocket League still to play here, Bear.
Oh, we do, and I love it. The more of this Rocket League, the better. Yeah, I know, you see it right off the bat, right? Double-digit shots from Chili alone. I called it out. With 2 minutes left, he had 8 shots already, and he put up 2 more in that process trying to get a 6th goal. For whatever reason, it's not like he needed it, but it would have felt good nonetheless.
Between two games, we have 50 shots between these teams. 23 in the first and 27 in the second.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of shots. All 5 goals that Chile got, by the way, were assisted. 100% team participation from what's going on out of the side of OC Esports. And it's not like there was a lack of what NAU was doing, but they simply got him uncomfortable. And it hurts for the Lumberjacks because they had Beast right up here with them, and they simply had one stretch play that went too far.
And how discouraging can that be? With how much effort he put in, and not just for Beast. Like, I get it's the whole team that's really going to be suffering with this, but at the end of the day, like, to be in that situation as Beast having all these goals and not being able to capitalize, and now you're just one game away from match point against. Now is the time to continue that pressure. If you're Beast, just continue doing what you're doing. You're obviously getting great support from Chronicle and the rest of the squad, but you got to be able to find a win on the scoreboard now, because if OC goes up 3-0, it's almost a done deal.
This is mechanically complex, to say the least, of this OC Esports group. Oh my goodness. You had to see Chronicle immediately get in the way, or else that one was Dunsky's, as they were just 2-on-1. And they were able to still navigate that kind of traffic. Beast is going to take this side boost. Carr is going to try and chase down, but it's up to Chronicle to keep this one more laterally inclined. Nice dividing and conquering there by North. They're going to force Chronicle into a rough situation, and yet look how they can run away and still get a nice defensive stop.
That was beautiful. Beast taking no time to make it difficult, though, for OC, as they do a good job cutting off that angle. You saw North stand in the way, perfectly placed, or to cut off the passing, or shot angle rather. For once we see not a shot on target, but now they'll try to turn in. His Chronicle demoed away before he could develop anything, but Chile getting bumped by G-Man, his own man. Now Beast is going to slow play this one up and over, but a good save yet again from Chile on the back line.
You saw 2 cars, 2 defenders for the Eagles chilling on the backboard, not needing to go anywhere too quick. This is also the first game of the 3 games so far that we've seen in this series where there's not been a goal scored in the first minute, let alone 5 goals scored in the first 2 minutes. Everything seems to have calmed down. I feel like maybe that last one was a backbreaker. You're already seeing the attempt by North to try and maybe get around it. That's a great navigation by Beast and Carr to combine, but Chile's going to back on up. And I love the communication as well as just field awareness by the Eagles to not go too thin upfield. They consistently are respecting the varsity counterattack.
Oh, bump out where they needed to get to cut off that angle. Chile was able to get to it at least temporarily, but still a bit of a scramble here for OC. Luckily for them, they were able to touch it away from Beast before he could get going. And now Northwood try to chop at it, looking to press into the box, force the issue. But Beast won't have that one too. He'll bank it off the side wall. G-Man right back in. This one will bounce off the back wall as well. The Chronicle is ready for it. Now Chile in a very peculiar spot. He does a great job to handle this, to play it sky high. We'll need to do a little bit more there as Carr was able to get to it. Now shot a little bit off the mark, maybe just trying to bait out that defender. Follow-up shot there as well. Chile, a touch. They still just jump at it. And a couple of misses here, but NAU not able to capitalize on what was their best chance of this game.
Yeah, that was the most promising. And G-Man twice actually whiffed. He was hoping to get there a little bit faster. And Beast, no extra boost to continue this plight. So NAU, they have to rely on their last man. G-Man is able to get the takeaway. He was hoping for yet another bump. He's been very good in the demolition kind of capacity. And he's going to get there as well to bail out North and Chile, who were operating a little bit faster and forward. So this one has been much the opposite in terms of getting onto the scoreboard. We are completely dead even with 90 seconds approaching. Beast for a power flick, a double commit, but it does find distance away from the Eagles' half, and yet it comes right back and they force G-Man to jump.
It's North now jumping in on the play himself. He'll chop it high. Look at G-Man already up for this one. Shot taken. Denied, and then Chronicle with a great follow-up to push it forward. So they're not wasting any time to try to jump on the gas pedal. They're looking for a transitional goal. They'll need to lock down defensively first. Beast with that initial save. They're back up for another opportunity. But they weren't able to find the angle on this one. Instead, they'll find Beast, but that shot off the post NAU, they looked like they had it all together. They looked like they were organized for a second, but really, OC, they were pressing on the doorstep. But now, counterattack, just like we mentioned. Opportunity here, but Chronicle shut down yet again here in the corner, and G-Man will clear the length of the pitch with just 35 seconds left.
G-Man is a titan, and these guys are trying to be able to slay them, but it's so difficult because they are thunderous with every single step. NAU is surviving, and that's actually a open net, depending on who gets there. Well, guess what? G-Man definitely is already operating from their own back half. Beast trying to intersect, and overcome with 10 seconds approaching here, Bear. We may be seeing our first overtime of the series. G-Man gets a demo. Chronicle goes and disappears, and North is going to keep it nearby. That one will streak aside. Overtime so very near.
No!
Oh, my God. We do get to the bonus round.
Oh, don't give it away again. I thought for a second that it was over, and it might be still. North going up high for this one. No, it'll be locked down here, Carr. I didn't see him parked there on the back wall, but G-Man's back up for the triple touch, but it did not go. Follow Chili, overtime winner, OC Esports. Another heartbreaker for NAU, courtesy of the Eagles.
Is G-Man even doing any work? Chili's has scored the last 6. He's the
Wow.
only one that's scored for OC for the last 2 games. I can't believe it. But yeah, no, that's a very crushing time for the side of NAU. And as our producer is able to bring us on back in, we got to see a much tougher kind of leave of the multitudes of scoring between both of these squads, as instead it came down to a single goal. It was a 0-0 regulation. If I were to tell anyone that we were 5-4 in game 2 and 4-2 in game 1, you would think, there's something. No. Game 3, nada, until we got to see that final put in by Chile.
Wait, what do you mean? We were averaging like 20 shots, and I don't think we had that many this time around, but it's still pretty high shot count, so the defense has definitely stepped up in this instance. And, but what's really standing out to me, ultimately, is the fact that the Eagles, Oklahoma Christian has done a great job in barn burners, aka when goals are going in bunches, they can play that aggressive play style and go and match your energy and really pull through from that lens, or they can play that slow game, the defensive, methodical game. So in either instance, it's a tough situation to dig out of if you're NAU, especially when you're down 0-3.
Yeah, and this is actually, I think the grand total between both those squads, it was like 9 and 7. So we had like only 16 shots. Only 16 between these two. Yeah, to add in. Oh, that's
already
also
won.
Beast wants that one, by the way. That's going to go sidewall. A hot shot's going to be going. Chili trying to quickly get it. And look how just OC is now going to be able to play fast and loose. They can pretty much send anything that they want. They can play up to the level that we saw UCF. And look at the pre-jumps by everyone. It's going to leave an open net. This is when getting silly will get you punished.
Yeah, I can tell you something. Maestro is not a happy camper after that sequence. Talk to the man. He's all about character. He's all about, listen, no matter the circumstances, we play our hearts out. He wants that individual who's going to be responsible and disciplined at the end of the day is typically the words he uses. That was not the case. I like seeing the confidence personally, but I get where he's coming from as well. And now you see NAU actually pressing in for their second goal, potentially.
They've been stretching it wide. Also, that kickoff just a moment ago, Chili and G-Man combined for the push play. We call it the tush push in football. Trying to see if they can be able to kind of neutralize it at the goal line. North will run across. Chili finding it tough to get around Chronicle. And there is one thing that you can't let happen, and that's let overconfidence be your guide, especially in these kind of matches. But definitely in Rocket League, I mean, this kind of play is very tough to navigate if you're NAU, but they're finding it in spades right now, and it's going to be tough for them to make sure that OC doesn't get something in the back of the net.
Yeah, because they've been doing it all series long with it. I was looking for the triple flip reset. I think he would have had it if he had more space. But either way, they get his goal, and Chili said, no, I'm the only one that can score goals for this game. You will not do that, North. Stole it off of his hood. I can't believe it. Wow.
He's the only one that's been scoring the last 3. That's 7 goals.
Oh, man. So why not continue that trend? If you're winning games, listen, it's got to be Chili who scores, right?
He's obviously the only one playing this game. Is anyone even serious? I think G-Man just tried to score on his own net against Chile. The rambunctious Eagles soaring together against and with each other, whichever way you may want to go about it. I'm going to ask North later on about the comms and the chaos that this team really has, because it's something fun to watch. Trying to fake him out until the very last moment. Beast holding their ground, and so is Chile. But G-Man is going to look for a chance to get it over to North. Nice extra jump. That's going to go backboard, and G-Man's not letting Chile score that.
Please? That would have been so sick. Oh, the demo. Listen, they're toying around a little bit too much now, even for my liking, so I can't imagine what Maestro's feeling. But I know what NAU is feeling. They're feeling good. I mean, finally, something going their way. You still got to be careful. You know, OC can bring it back to you, but you've done your job to get up to 2-1. And now it's a matter of scoring another one, because you know that OC is not going to spin out the rest of this game without scoring another one.
If We Take Those was on a sticker, they have them planted on their forehead. They've slapped it on and said,
yeah.
We will. Oh my goodness, let it happen. North waiting out the pinch against Chronicle. And this is exactly why they're playing around. They know they can get one right back.
Oh, and he boosted right into it. He knew that his angle there and took it. I'm just disappointed it wasn't Chile. No, but in all honesty, there, North has played a seriously awesome game. Can't believe you threw G-Man under the bus, because he's been doing big things as well. But, I mean, overall, OC can't be mad. Despite their careless nature here in this game number 4, they still have a 3-0 series lead. And it didn't take them very long in order to get right back in charge. Double touch attempt. Still there in the box. G-Man still putting it into harm's way for NAU. Look to be holding on by a thread at this point. I know it's 2-2, but it feels that way.
It's always somewhere around this 3rd minute of play that the Lumberjacks end up just wondering, are they even playing the same game as OC? Looking for the double touch off the floor. G-Man runs it back. He's trying to immediately walk it into the hands of North. North is getting bumped around. Chile already elevating to the top level of the entire grid here as 100 seconds are approaching. This could be an extension of the series. We haven't seen a sweep as of yet, but we're seeing the likes of the possibility one more time. NAU, they've got to get another goal. Even with OC Esports not exactly completely focused, they're just making sure to not let as many through as possible so they can have a chance late term. And there's an open net, but Chile will provide.
And then a touch that looked dangerous, but it was really just behind as a crafty one. NAU's got to do a better job of shutting down this back wall as well. There's been way too many times that OC's been allowed the chance at a double touch, and as impossible as it seems sometimes in those instances, we've seen OC be able to hit those shots. So you got to have that defense. Oh, chipped at it was G-Man, but he wasn't able to find the back of the net. And now they push forward yet again. Chile almost had that read. G-Man is shot. And Chronicle did not like the pre-jump chances of Beast, so he takes matters into his own hand to settle down catch. But the further we go here, the more it feels like OC might pull through if NAU is not careful.
40 seconds remaining. Nice psycho. They were able to pinch it the entire other way. Looking for a redirect. Everyone doubling up. Chile and G-Man. Rather, no, that one's North. G-Man was right in the corner trying to be able to get that next catch. Beast has a flip reset. They don't use it. Another counterplay. The middle of the pitch is just Mad Max Fury Road. Who gets to survive? G-Man and Chile looking to get it going. They crash the gate, and Chile brings it home.
Oh, it's always so heartbreaking. Why does it always have to be this heartbreaking for the Lumberjacks? I mean, G-Man. Can't say it enough, that play, going all the way to the ceiling, knowing that there's only one back. All you have to do is put it in the box, and one of your teammates is going to step up. Of course, it was Chile to put in yet another goal. Now NAU, last lifeline. They need a goal. They need it now. 3 seconds left off the sidewall. This one going to be punched all the way back to their own zone. Chile, a touch, but it'll stay up in the air. Now, one last opportunity here. And they just don't have much of a chance. The fake out will secure it. It'll be OC Esports and the Eagles soaring high as they will win this one 4-0.
I completed part of my bingo card tonight. We got a 4-1, a 4-2, and a 4-0. From this one here in Div 2 is OC, that's Oklahoma Christian University. Esports is able to get it. Eagles flying over in AU. And Northern Arizona, they had, especially those opening minutes and then kind of closing minutes, very promising times where they were able to keep track with OC. But OC, G-Man is wild, Chili is a score, and North is simply like, okay, sure, yeah. let me pre-jump in between and see what happens. But a great showcase for them. In AU, I feel like there is something they can really build upon this. That's just a wily bunch to have to meet in week number 1.
Yeah, exactly. They're literal dynamites across the pitch, and not to mention, it was heartbreaking every single time. Every single game, I felt, could have gone the other way. And you could make the argument that towards the end, it seemed like OC was in control even in a 2-2 environment where maybe they were toying around a little bit, and that's why it was close. But I would also make the argument that NAU did what they needed to in those moments, that there is definitely building blocks that they can, start to establish a little bit more of their play style. A lot of great things in this series, just to be completely countered and just nullified by some unfortunate luck towards the tail end of games, including overtime losses within the last 10 seconds. That accounted for 3 out of those 4 games, Monkey Man. It feels bad, but you got to stick with it over the course of the season.
You know what? It's week number 1 in the books here, and a lot of other teams are going to be getting that good to go. In case you guys missed it, it was Northwood Blue that was able to take down Fisher White in 4-1 fashion. Then we got to see the Golden Gales. They were brought down, even with a slow comeback starting against UCF, but they were beaten on Neo Tokyo in 4-2. And then this one, our only sweep of the evening. Congratulations over to OC as they took them out. NAU, better travels. They're going to see it in week number 2. But all of you, they're going to be seeing some more gameplay tomorrow. Thank you to our producer over with Exotic. Next week around, our faces won't be here. It's going to be Tugboat as well as Captain Etsoka. They'll be able to guide your faces for some more NECC Rocket League action. But don't go too crazy. Don't go too far. Make sure to not go away without giving him some love. He's going to be married soon. It's going to be an awesome time. I'm Hell Monkey Man. That's Bear Light. You have been awesome. We'll see you next time.
You need real fuel to power your day, not some tofu stuffed rice cake or plant-based meat substitute. No, you need honest-to-goodness, homegrown, protein-packed power in a stick. You need Wenzel's Farm. Quality cuts of meat handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked for a great-tasting snack that delivers real energy. Power up and put the smack down on whatever your day brings with Wenzel's Farm. Real meat for real life.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that. Oh! Yeah. There's something in there. Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.